The New York Knicks, although they had a pretty eventful offseason, and they've had a pretty good season this year too, haven't quite lived up to expectations. And it's for one reason, fellas. Because when they play against the top teams in the East, they've lost every game. The Knicks are 0-7 against the top three seeds in the Eastern, or the top three teams in the NBA, actually. They're 0-3 against the Celtics, 0-2 against the Cavs, and 0-2 against the Thunder. And although they've given us good moments this year, they've had some good winning streaks. Against those teams, they've just looked abysmal, including what, Shield? They lost by 40 the other night to the Cavs?
37, I'm sorry.
So it leads me and a lot of us to believe, are the Knicks really, truly contenders come playoff time?
Well, don't leave out, previous to Sunday's game, the two games that they lost to the Celtics, they've beaten them by an average margin of 25. And Oklahoma City has beaten them by an average margin of 18. So they're not losing to these teams. They're getting smoked. New York, Oklahoma City went into Madison Square Garden and stomped them. Don't let that 18-point lead, don't let that fool you. It was way worse than that. They got whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. They do everything. And you guys talk to me about this all the time, about making guys unplayable come playoff time. If Cat wasn't the scorer that he is, he would be unplayable against these kind of teams, because they do everything and they do any and everything to not only get him into action, but keep him in action. He's not a rim protector. He's awful in drop. He doesn't recover well, and they take advantage of that on every level. And not just the Celtics, not just the Cavs. Oklahoma City did it also. And this Knicks team, if they play against the Celtics, which is why they were built to beat the Celtics. That's why they made the trades that they made. The main reason why they would struggle against the Boston Celtics is because they got to outshoot them, because the Celtics defense is just as good as theirs, if not better. And they're more versatile in terms of their rotation players. So they're gonna clearly have to outshoot them, and you don't have the personnel to do that. That's a huge problem. Then you got Cleveland, who now they've even gotten better on their front line. Evan Mobley is the difference. He's gotten better on the front line. 2 years ago, he was a pup. With him being a pup, he really, and Jared Allen said it, the bright lights were what got the best of us. And then Coach Tibbs doesn't, I think Coach Tibbs, and I'm on record saying this, I don't think he utilizes his bench as much as he should. He's got rotation guys. They just have to play more than they do. Because Coach Tibbs, if you're not doing anything early, he's out.
Mars, I have a question for you. And it's actually the poll I'm running in the chat. Now, I know one of the teams they have to go all the way to the finals to beat. But of the top three teams in the league, hypothetically speaking, if the Knicks run into these teams, the Thunder, the Cavs, and the Celtics, can you list the order in which you believe that they can beat that team?
I think they lose to all of them. I want to start off with that. I think they lose.
It'll be any of them, Mars? Not one of them?
I don't think they beat any of them. But if you ask me, which you did,
who do they have
they have the best chance? I think they have the best chance against the Thunder. Then I think next would be I don't think they have any chance against either one of those Eastern teams.
Why don't you like them against the Thunder? Is it Shea being their only real offensive force?
Yeah, like with OKC, it's just because I don't know if we're going to talk about what happened last night, but if you're able to get Shea off the ball, like whether that's traps, double zones, whatever, there's a chance that OKC's complementary guys won't be able to beat you. Now, over the course of a series, I don't give the Knicks any chance of actually winning, but there is a chance that OKC's role players and J-Dub and Chet or whoever just aren't good enough offensively to punish the Knicks defense. It's probably like a 0.6% chance, but compared to the Cavs and the Celtics, where I think the Knicks genuinely have no chance, I'm going to say the Thunder are the team they have the most likelihood of beating, but I still don't think they're going to beat them. And then between the Cavs and the Celtics, who do I think they're more likely to beat?
If you had to choose between the two, Mars, like you had to pick one of them.
Well, I mean, you're asking me, what do I think is a bigger number, 0 or 0.0?
I was just about to say, Mars. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase the question there, Mars. The question is you think they'd lose to both of them? Which one would they lose to the worst?
They get smoked by both.
They get smoked. So the
I don't-
Cavs just
I think the Celtics
them.
smoke. I think the Celtics smoke.
I think the Celtics they would lose 2 more. So
Cleveland's got a better
Really?
chance in beating them. Cleveland's got a better
Cleveland's-
chance in winning.
No. He's saying Celtics beat them worse, right?
Cleveland will win by like an average margin of like 11 a game. Boston could win
Sweep?
by like 14 a game.
so both of these teams are sweeping them.
I mean, Boston could lose a game because they just go cold from 3, but the Knicks won't beat them off like, oh, this game plan is the one that's going to beat them. No, you won because Boston decided to not make threes that night. That's why they'll lose.
Do you know what they're currently losing to those teams by? Those contenders?
I think Joe just said it: 18 to OKC, 20 something to the
To the
Cavs.
contenders, they're losing by an average margin of 20 points per game.
Yeah,
Shit,
Thank
come
you.
on,
They're
Penn.
not
What we
close.
doing,
They're
man?
not
Like we
close.
getting stomped. We not losing, Penn. We getting
See,
smoked.
when you say those numbers, it really kills. It just deflates everything I wanted to say.
It
This
does,
whole time,
man.
because I heard,
We getting
because Chill, you told me that before today. We talked about this already before about the margin that they're losing to these teams. And in my mind, when Marge is saying these, I'm like, nah, I could see him beating the Cavs. Like, if they do this, if OG, and if OG and Mikal do this, they could beat the Celtics. I'm thinking like, yeah, they could do it. And then when you tell me that these boys is getting spanked by a dub piece, whoo.
They're not
I'm not
losing,
even gonna,
Ox.
I'm not even gonna waste your time. Like that would be disrespectful for me to sit here and talk to you about how the Knicks could beat these teams. They're not beating these teams, bro.
They're not losing, Ox. They're
You don't
losing by a
just get your
sizable
ass kicked
margin.
like that.
Pin.
Like chill. When you fighting somebody, you get a rematch. Like at some point in that fight, you was like, man, I had him on the ropes. Nah, bro, I don't see that.
Pin, what is it? Like what is the problem with the Knicks?
Defense,
Terrible.
and more defense. Look, how do you define a contender? I define typically a top 5 offense, a top 5 defense, and a top 5 player. That's the prototype. To me, that's the most consistent blueprint that produces championships in the NBA.
I can get with that.
And then you got to pray, because there's a lot of top 5 teams offensively and defensively with really great players, like sometimes even multiple great players that don't win in the finals, like the Miami Heat 2 times, during LeBron's tenure. So, you just need to get to the dance. They're not getting to the dance at this point, right? Now, the other part of this is you play your starters into the ground. What happens when Boston and Cleveland start playing their starters into the ground? What happens when Memphis starts playing? I think you need to expand the conversation beyond those teams and ask yourself, who do you think this Knicks team can beat in the playoffs?
Really?
Like, I realize most people have them third, right? They have them third in the East.
That's where they are now.
Okay. How many teams in the West do you genuinely think? Let's just say OKC is not the team that comes out of the West. Let's say the Lakers come out of the West or the Nuggets come out of the West. How many teams do you have to go down before you pick the Knicks in a series in the finals? Let's just.
You don't think the Nuggets can play with the
I think they can beat. I think they can beat the Nuggets. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, you don't think they could play with the Nuggets and the Lakers, man?
I think Jamal Murray and Joker put Cat in that action and destroy them.
Swipe.
Yeah, but Cat to get his. Jalen Brunson to get his too.
Yo, Swipe just fell off the toilet.
They get the ball.
Swipe probably thinks the Nuggets are probably the favorites in the West.
Cat doesn't have Nas Reed. He doesn't have Nas Reed and Rudy and McDaniels to protect him like he did last season.
He doesn't need to be protected. He doesn't need to be protected. He can guard.
What?
Let me make sure, because I have a problem with making what I'm saying very clear.
You got to clarify.
Karl-Anthony Towns' only viability defensively is that he's a good post defender. Denver posts up more than any team in the NBA.
Yeah.
A Denver matchup is not the worst matchup for Karl-Anthony Towns defensively.
Can
a horrible matchup for him would be if they played the Warriors, he would get fried. If they played the Lakers, he would get fried. Denver, for as funny as it is, because Jokic is the best offensive player in the world, Denver is like the best matchup you could hope for Cat defensively. And it's crazy because he's going up against a legitimate center, so his contemporary at his position. and he's the best player in the world at the same time, and somehow that's his best matchup. So it's funny, but where Cat's at is worse is heavy pick and roll teams, heavy spread offenses, or teams that move the ball a lot in terms of motion and like Golden State, Sacramento type teams, not
Isn't
the
that
Nuggets.
Denver? Isn't that Denver?
Nah, Denver, they have their 2-man game, and he's gonna struggle. Obviously, he's gonna struggle in that 2-man game. But if you keep him attached to Jokic, and then you start sending help from elsewhere on that 2-man game, instead of having him help, you can make Cat serviceable defensively in that series. And then on the other side of the ball, Denver have no chance of guarding the Knicks. Like, they can't guard him. So I actually think the Knicks, if they want to see a team, if they were to get to the finals somehow by the grace of God, and they saw the Nuggets, I actually think they would probably win that series. Or it would be close.
Wait, real quick though, y'all. What's up with Mitch? Like, what's up with Mitch? He's supposed
to return this week. He's back. Yeah, he's back soon.
Oh,
I think he makes a huge
they're saying
difference.
that changes things majorly. Mitch is a game changer. He might not be a top 5, top 10 center. I don't know how y'all feel about Mitch, but he changes things for them drastically.
Ox, he's missed 2/3 of the season. How much is he going to play right off the gate? The playoffs start in less than 2 months. What are we going to do with this guy?
2 months is a long time to get your conditioning. To get your conditioning,
plenty of time.
Not when you not
60 days.
Not when you fighting for playoff position. Not when you.
They're not fighting for playoff position. They're gonna get the preseason. They're gonna be all right.
I'm glad you brought that up, Mars, because Penn brought up the teams in the Western Conference. Penn, how about we stay in the East? How you feel about them
in the East?
How you feel about them against Detroit in round 1?
They spanking Detroit, especially with
you
me.
Sure?
Not so fast. Not so fast. Not so fast.
They got Mitch. They spanking Detroit. No. Cut it out.
When you say spank, you're telling me Detroit
when I say spank, I mean 5 or 6.
Yo, people are not expecting
more
me to say
likely
this,
5.
but I am starting to really respect the hell out of this Pistons team.
And Cade.
I respect them as well. I respect them. I respect them too. But I'm not.
You're not respecting the team if you're telling me they're getting smacked.
Just because I can respect the team that's going to get their ass whooped. I don't have to. Just because I respect you doesn't mean I got to think you're going to win everything. You know what I'm saying? By me respecting you is me just being as real as possible with what I think your abilities are. I think the Pistons have made a major leap this year. I think their younger players are doing their thing. Mike Beasley, he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? Cade has arrived, but that team doesn't mean that I think that they're gonna win against the Knicks, especially with the healthy Mitchell Robinson. Or could
they get a game? Let's
that's why I said when I said strength, I said 5 or 6 games.
I think this series is tied 2-2, and I think the Knicks go back home and they win in a dogfight in Game 5.
That's a hell of a prediction to make.
What happens?
I think they win in a dogfight in Game 5.
What happens in Game 6?
I think that they go home and they end it. But I think that they ended in a dogfight.
I mean, look, there's a lot of young teams that have followed this trajectory of competitive but out in 6, right? And so you wouldn't be wrong in saying that that's what's supposed to happen. I'm just saying, once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen, right?
Yes.
You get injuries, you get like a Jalen Brunson twists his ankle, boom, now he's hobbled. Karl-Anthony Towns twists his knee, boom, he's out. Now what? This is the problem with the Knicks. It's a house of cards. It's always a house of cards, right? Last year, they exchanged a lot of their depth last year to go in for this like very dominant starting 5, right? But it's a very flawed starting 5. Mitchell Robinson coming back, if he is like 80% of what he was at the idealized apex, he is a major game changer for them because he gives them the thing that they don't have, which is a competent player who can protect the rim, right? They just don't have it. So
and a major offensive rebounder too, Pin. His offensive rebounder.
Which is what they need. 100% they need that.
But like the loss of Isaiah Hartenstein, I feel is a huge one for this team, right? To the point where I'm really questioning whether, they gave up 5 first-round picks in a swap for Mikal Bridges. 5. Yeah, 5. That's nuts, right? Because we're seeing right now players like Zach LaVine.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
Brooklyn.
The Nets did that?
Yes.
Brooklyn went over to Madison Square Garden and just like stick them up. Stick them up. We want everything.
5 ones.
Hey, okay. Yo, Ox.
You see?
I don't know what chick ran that play. That's the hell out of him, boy. They made him run everything.
They gave him back their picks. You know how valuable those Brooklyn ones were?
Yes.
That is such a valuable pick. And to
God
get that from
damn.
Mikal Bridges, because this like compulsive gambler that's running the the Knicks right now, this is really like you realize they gave up more for Mikal Bridges than what currently De'Aaron Fox and Brandon Ingram went for combined.
How about
Is that a fair statement in terms of pick equity?
We got Zach. Oh, pick. Okay.
Yeah, but do you think maybe the landscape of the league changed? Because I don't want to. You know how obviously the going rate yesterday isn't the same going rate today. Now,
yesterday's
obviously,
price wasn't today's price.
Yeah, exactly. So I know obviously when you look at it, you're like, damn, they gave up this and they only got this. But in terms of market value, in terms of the difference in the times.
Okay, who would you rather have? Would you rather have Zach LaVine or would you rather have Mikal Bridges?
Zach.
Zach LaVine.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Zach LaVine was being dangled for free.
And those picks that the Knicks gave up, those picks that the Knicks gave up is very much like what Minnesota did with Rudy. They're looking at those picks, the 24th, the 25th pick. I mean, they're the third. They got the third seed in the East, which means that pick will probably be somewhere in the mid-20s. So they're really not valuing that pick as much. They're trying to win right now. And since
this is a team that lacks depth.
Yes.
How do you get depth? You hit on your draft picks.
But see, here's the difference, though. I don't think that they lack depth more than Tibbs doesn't use. I mean, like this point guard Kolek from Marquette, I think he can play. I just don't think Tibbs sticks with him. I think McBride can play.
Okay, Tyler.
I definitely think McBride could get some minutes.
I want to get something on the record. You're in the opening round. Sorry, you're in the second round. You got the Celtics, and Jalen Brunson needs a breather. You're bringing in Tyler Kolek.
So they got
as opposed
to faith.
Well, here's the difference. Here's the difference with that, Penn. The reason why I'm saying that is because when Campaign comes in, if I don't get anything from him early, he's done for the day. That's it. I don't get no more. Tibbs is not gonna yank him out of the lineup and then put him back in later for another 10 or 15 minutes. No.
If he misses 2 shots, you're sending him back to the locker room.
He's out.
You're out. Parking lot.
Tibbs does not waste a lot of time with these guys.
That's not a recipe for success.
It's not. But you do have a good rotation guard in. You do have a good rotation guard in Campaign. I think you got a good rotation guard in Kolek. I don't think that Precious. Here's the thing, Penn. Here's the thing that I'm saying. I think you got a good rotation guard in this kid Kolek if you use him more. I don't know what he is. But from what I've seen, he looks like a good rotation guard. The problem is that he hasn't been used as much. So because of that, and the playoffs are coming up quickly, and he's a rook, immediately the idea is, well, he probably won't play. Well, he probably won't play because you haven't used him. But you have used Precious Achiuwa. You have used McBride. You have used Campaign. You have used who's the other big guy that I'm thinking about that they have?
Jericho?
Sims is gone. No, Sims is gone.
Oh no,
Sims is gone. But they got another guy in their rotation. So with these guys that he's used, he doesn't use them long because Tibbs is very starting 5 or 6 heavy. The rotate and it makes it look like his rotation guys aren't good. No, they are actually good.
Chill, but the thing too is when Penn was talking about what they gave up for Mikal Bridges, I just want to go back similar to what Ron was saying about like market value and whatnot. I want us to just put ourselves in their shoes for a second and think what they were thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like to them, they're like, we get Mikal Bridges and we solidify our wing defense. We can compete with the Celtics. Now, regardless of whether this experiment is working or whether or not it's going to work, just the idea of where they were coming from, to your point, Chill, they're like, well, these draft picks could be something, but at the same time, they'll probably be late first, whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think they were. I mean, but that's what I'm looking at it, Penn. You can see you can't just always look at it one way. Like you can say this is the way you build a team. This is how you build it. Yeah, that's cool. Like for y'all, but for some of us, we want to go in and we want to go with a wing defense that we think is going to shut things down. We get Mitchell Robinson back. He protects the basket. Boom, our defense is solidified. That's how they're looking at it. That's the personality of a guy like Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? That's their personality. So I'm now, once again, I'm not saying whether they were right or whether they're wrong. I just want us to look at it from their point of view. We're looking at it from one point of view, like that was just a stupid move. You guys are also saying about Tibbs. See, you guys are looking at it from, I think Chill, you're looking at it from how you would react when you was playing. Like some people can react to that. You're not playing good, get better, get out. You know what I mean? I know everybody might not want to play like that, but it's like he runs a tight ship. You know what I'm saying? I'm strict on how I want my things. You know, it's like you know, it's I've never been to the military, but I'm thinking I'm assuming what it's like in the military. When you mess up, your supervisor, whoever's ahead of you, your lieutenant, whoever your sergeant is like, hey, you know, straighten up. So, you know, and some of us, some people don't like that. Some people do. You know what I mean? It's just two different styles. Is all I'm saying. We can't always expect it to be the style we're accustomed to or the style that we want to see. You know what I mean? The Knicks got something else going on over there. And back to my original point, Mitchell Robinson come through, things could change, y'all. We're over here talking about they can't beat this team. They have zero chance of winning against team. Mitchell Robinson come through. I think that conversation changes a whole lot.
Can we grade the Mikal Bridges pick? I mean, not pick, trade. Well, actually, no. I don't. Obviously, it'd be an F. Well, I don't know if it'd be an F, but I don't want to grade the trade. I don't want to grade the trade. I want to grade how he's played this year.
Ignoring what he was traded for, just in a vacuum. How good?
Yeah, let's get all that out of our mind. Because
Pretend they signed him.
That's going to water everything down. Let's just talk about how he's played.
I'll start with a compliment. He's better than Paul George.
Who'd you say? Who'd you say?
He's been better than Paul George this year.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
wait, who y'all talking about? Ron? Who'd you say?
Mikal Bridges.
Okay.
If you just look at Mikal Bridges and Paul George just as players, ignoring that Paul George.
No, he's not better than him. He's playing better.
Yeah, I'm saying if you just look at them both for what they've done, ignore the fact that Paul George is making $50 million.
He's making less podcasts. I'll give him credit for that.
Ignore the fact that Mikal was traded for 5 first-round picks and just look at how they're both playing. I don't know if I agree that Mikal's playing better than him. Not to a degree where I can say it comfortably anyway. I think they both just been. Yeah.
Miles, I can't go off of what you were traded for. I mean, just because you were traded for more, that doesn't mean that I'm not playing better. I mean, Mikal has been playing within himself. He started out not good because his shot wasn't good, but then he started playing more within his game. He started playing more within his game. He started playing more in the mid-range. He started getting out in transition a lot more. Paul George, on the other hand, we still expect him to be what he used to be, the one-on-one dominant
Well, maybe
player.
you shouldn't expect that.
Yo, the Nets
Sounds
are
like a
scammers.
for $200 million.
The Nets
No, but I'm
are
saying
scammers.
ignore the price tag because if we
can't do that, boss.
But then we can't ignore
the price.
Mikal Bridges was traded for 5 first-round picks.
We can't, but Mikal's not even playing. Mikal's not even playing that bad. He's clearly playing better than Paul George.
I don't agree with that. It's clear. I need an explanation as to how it would be clear.
He's not Paul George. There's your explanation.
Yeah, cool. But like Mikal, in my opinion, has been Paul George, in my opinion, has been But Paul George is obviously held to a higher standard, A, because of the contract, B, because of the expectations Philly had. I understand all of that. But if we're just saying, look at them both, just in a vacuum as players, ignore all outside context that is away from the basketball court. Ignore the fact that Paul George is making $212 million, whatever he's making.
Just
ignore the fact that Mikal Bridges was traded for 5 first-round picks.
Right.
Just look at what they are doing on the basketball court. Why has Mikal Bridges just definitively been better? Maybe he has been better. I'm not saying he hasn't. Right. I just don't think it's as clear as, he's been better than Paul George. Like I don't see that.
The reason why I'm all is because in his role, he was not brought there, even though he was traded for 5-1s. But you want to take that off the table. All right, I can get with that. But in his role as the number 3 guy, as a defender, as a guy who can knock down open shots,
he's been worse defensively than Paul George.
Well, has he been really?
If you say
Paul George
to his role, yes. They're asking Mikal to be a point of attack defender and he's getting fried. They're asking Paul George to be an off-ball defensive playmaker. And has he been great? No, but
he's definitely been worse than Mikal Bridges as an off-ball playmaker. Because that's not his game ever. That's never really been his game.
Paul George isn't an off-ball playmaker?
Has he always been?
Always been him.
Are we talking about defense or offense?
Defense.
Okay, so we're talking about defense. Yeah. So this season, who's been a better off-ball playmaker, Mikal Bridges or wow? I always thought that I'm watching Mikal Bridges. He's been a lot better in the passing lanes, much better.
Than Paul George?
Yes, this season, 100% he has been.
I just don't agree with you.
100% he's been better than him.
I guess I could look at
even as an on-ball defender. I think he's been better than Paul George.
Probably
the problem is.
Paul.
But his
because he's more active in the passing lane. He's also an off-ball defender. Mikal Bridges being used as a point of attack defender. He's not even off the ball that much.
The problem is we see a lot of times Mikal Bridges getting roasted by Jason Tatum. So we don't see Paul George in the lineup nearly as much. And on top of that, Philly is bad. So a lot of that stuff that Paul George does has been empty. A lot of it hasn't led to anything.
Well, the team sucks for many reasons, including Paul George.
And I was about to say, and one of those.
Well, yeah, like I said, he's making 50 million. You kind of handicap your roster when you have 50 million.
I think it might be a narrative argument because one of these players is regressing at 34, which makes sense, and the other one is regressing at 28, which maybe makes a little less sense. And in terms of what was paid for one versus the other, you can talk about Paul George's contract, but. Right. I mean, Mikal Bridges and Paul George technically have been asked to do pretty much the same thing. If you came in and this year and said they were twins, I'm saying in terms of a pecking order.
Paul George is top 5 in the league in deflections, by the way. Just want to put that out there.
Where's Mikal Bridges?
Where's Nikola Jokic? I'm kidding.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll find Mikal. Where is he at? He's not on the first page. If that helps, he's below Russell Westbrook, I think.
Wait, but Mikal Bridges, I'm just curious to see why is he regressing? Mikal Bridges is regressing. Why and how?
First of all, I think the Nets are scam artists.
Yeah, but how is Mikal regressing though?
Because it's regression relative to what was expected. Now,
that's not regression. But if I don't do what you expect me to do, that's just not me meeting expectations.
Fair enough, but the expectations were created based on performance, and the performance was based on content.
Yeah, they were made based on reputation because he wasn't a good defender.
You got
Mikal Bridges gets 1.7.
You got to look at how he's played in different situations.
He wasn't in Brooklyn. The last time Mikal was a good defender was 2022.
Agreed. I completely agree with you. So, look, I have tried my best to study the history of peaks because I always want to know where is a player relative to where they are right now, where are they heading, right? And it's not an exact science. You have a player like DeMar DeRozan where at 27, 28, you could have said he's done, and then he wasn't done. He had 6 gears to go from, where he was to where he is. Some people don't do that. But a lot of players, a lot of wings follow this trajectory of 24 to 27, 24 to 27. That athleticism goes, and then suddenly they're just like, can you maintain this? Can you maintain where you're at for a couple years? Can you slow down the regression into your 30s? And I think we're so ruined by LeBron. Exceptional examples like LeBron James, where you're like, yeah, it's totally normal for a player to be, perfectly serviceable at 40. No, it's not.
No, it is not.
Players are done at 34, 35. So when you are a fan of a team that is signing a 34-year-old player to a 5-year max or 4-year max, you better buckle up because you are signing up for hell, potentially. Now, again, comes down to the player, comes down to luck, but sometimes you just can't go. You look at Paul George, you think he doesn't want to go downhill. He does want to go downhill. He just can't attack anymore. With Mikal Bridges, I think it's possible to say that his best year was probably 22. In terms of just overall impact. Now, he was in the finals. He had that reputation as being probably the best player traded in a Kevin Durant trade, although let's just be honest, that trade was about a lot more than just Mikal Bridges. And then you just have to do the calculus on your own end, which is saying, what I'm watching right here, how does it project forward? And it's worth noting, Mikal Bridges never made an all-star team, ever. He's never even sniffed an all-NBA selection. So when you give up 5 firsts and a swap for him to be your final piece, and you're expecting defensive impact when he hasn't shown defensive impact for 2-3 years, man, you are really gambling.
He's 160th in deflections. I just spent all that time counting. So Paul George is top 5. Mikal Bridges is 160th. I think.
But he's top
200. Alongside my eye test, I think it's fair to say Paul George is a more active defensive playmaker off the ball. I think that's fair to say. But go ahead. You got it.
Pirate.
Ron,
it's good to see you again.
Good morning, Ron. It's good to see you.
Get him to read all his super chats.
How do you feel about
he does be sending
this whole Knicks thing and them not beating contenders and Mikal Bridges and everything from top to bottom?
Yeah, I had to tap in real quick. It's real early in the morning for me, but yeah, this touches on one of my biggest bugaboo following the NBA. have to say the Knicks logistically are not contenders, and it should be obvious because it's just frankly the nature of the league. The NBA is the most predictable sports league by far, and every season it seems like people forget that. And I mean, just as an example, let's look. There have been 78 champions in the NBA. Do you know how many champions have been outside of the top 3 seeds in 78 years?
Houston Rockets.
2.
Houston
2.
Rockets and the Spurs.
The 95 Rockets and the 69 Celtics. It's the only 2. 98% of the champions are in the top 3 seed. 88% of the champions are top 2 seed. 66% of the champions are the top 1 seed. Over 60% of the champions are the team with the highest SRS. It's the most predictable league there is. A team like the Knicks, the odds of them actually winning the championships are next to nil. They're in a conference with the Cavs and Boston are simply better. For them to win, they would have to beat Boston in the second round, and beat Cleveland in the conference finals, and then they would have to go on and probably beat OKC. The odds of that happening are literally next to nothing. So, I mean, this season, I've seen it pretty much from the beginning, pretty much a 3-horse race. OKC, Boston, and Cleveland have separated themselves from the league pretty. I personally have it at about a 93% chance that it's going to be one of those 3 teams. And OKC, I got at over a 50% chance. And if it's not OKC, it's virtually set that it's going to be Boston or Cleveland.
Well,
I mean, that's just the way it goes in the NBA. You know, I mean, we talk about these 4th seeds, 5th seeds, 6th seeds teams. You know, I mean, it's a show about basketball, so you got to fill airtime. But the fact is, year in, year out, when the playoffs come around, the same thing happens over and over and over again in the NBA.
Yes, it's not news that the best teams in the NBA at the top of the league, they're the ones there at the end of the season. I mean, I won't argue that. I thought the Spurs were a 4 seed at one point when they won the NBA championship.
I thought the Bullets were a 4 seed. Turns out they were the 3 seed with 44 wins. So,
yeah.
No, there were two teams in 78 years outside of the top 3 seeds. So pretty much any season, whenever you're
they got a chance.
Yeah, they do. The Knicks.
No, sure, they got it. Yeah, sure, they got a chance, but I mean,
if we being honest, because you just brought it up yourself, I'm sorry, about seeds. Just so you know, in 22, the Warriors were the 3 seed. They won the NBA championship that year. The Bulls in 93, they were the 3 seed. They won the NBA championship that year. So it's not ridiculous to think that a 3 seed could win the NBA championship. Now, is it likely?
Yeah, no, but chill. It's happened less than 10% of the time, and that's counting every year in, year out. That's not counting the years where you're a 3 seed and then you have 2 teams ahead of you that all fundamental indicators point to being a better team than you.
Well, you need some things to go your way if you're a lower seed. No question about that. You definitely need some things to happen that didn't happen in the past. So, example,
we've seen 2 8 seeds make it to the finals
and lose.
The Knicks
and lose.
Okay, but okay.
Well, we've seen them make it to the finals, though.
There's nothing magical.
He said
there's nothing magical about this. And also, can we just acknowledge that the league? The league has more teams now. Okay, we're talking about data from when the league had 23 teams, right?
Facts.
Right.
70 is, you said 78 years. Like throw away the first 50 of that and just focus on like the last
since
28.
2000s.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, the odds diminish when you had more teams, because now the top teams are playing even lower caliber teams. I mean, it's substantial history. It is what it is. It's 78 years in the book. I mean, you can
I don't know if you can play a lower
You,
caliber.
you can guess that you can call it math ball or whatever it is, but I mean they're
It's not
like
math
the indicators
football,
are what they are, you know, and the people setting the books and betting on these things,
I
you know,
promise you, Vegas
they
does not
got
care what happened
data
28
that
years ago. I promise you, Vegas does not care. I mean, like, okay, yeah, it's almost a tautological argument to say, like, okay, teams that are really good in the regular season have a good chance of winning the playoffs or, you know, winning the championship. But again, like we've seen, okay, I'll give you an example. What about legacy franchises and big market teams, right? If you had done the data in 2019 and said, what are the odds of a small market team winning an NBA championship, or what are the, you know what I mean? Like you probably would have said it's less than 15% based on my data. And then we get Denver and Milwaukee and you know what I mean? Like we get back to backs there. And I'm just saying, like, overall, you can take the data, but the game is different. The league is different. The league has pushed towards parity. The cap changes a lot of things. And I just think that there's more talent. And when I'm looking around, I'm not just seeing like two powerhouse teams or one powerhouse team. There are iterations of the NBA where it was a foregone conclusion that it was going to be the Celtics or the Lakers every year. There were those years. There are years where one team is just so significantly above. But I'll tell you what, right now, you cannot predict the NBA Finals right now. Right now, you cannot tell me who's winning the championship.
No, you can't. You can't predict
well,
it,
and
but you
Ron,
can predict.
this is why it's my bugaboo, because year in, year out, it's this conversation comes up that anything can happen, and the fact is that anything doesn't happen. You know, year in, year. So, I mean, there's no way. It's the future, so none of us can say we can bet. You know, I mean, I'm definitely willing to lay any bet on the prospect that. I mean,
but you know that it's going to be one of these top three teams that win it. Like, you know, it's
every champion for
the most part,
in a season like this. In a season that's playing out the way that this season, because this season is played out to be a very stratified season. The separation between OKC in the West and Boston and Cleveland in the East is very distinct compared to the average season that's come before. So yeah, in this type of season, I would say the odds of one of those three teams not winning is slim to none. I mean, something very drastic would have to happen.
According to the numbers, those three teams are probably the teams that are going to win the NBA championship. These other teams like Milwaukee and
virtually guaranteed.
Okay, look,
virtually guaranteed.
One of those three teams are going to win the NBA championship this year.
I can't say
absolutely.
You might be able to throw two other teams in there. You might be able to throw the Bucks, throw.
You could throw a couple pennies.
There's a couple other teams.
If you're betting a dollar,
Denver. You know what I'm saying? Like
for every dollar that you bet, I'd say bet between 55 to 60 cents on OKC, 22 to 23 cents on Cleveland, 20 cents on Boston, and then you got a couple of pennies to sprinkle around on
60 on
maybe the Knicks, high, maybe the Nuggets, but
that's okay. I mean, like it's a 7-game series. It's meant to promote the best team. It's meant to take out the outliers, right? Whereas in football, you just got to do it one game. Anything could happen. Right. One game, right?
Exactly. That's part of it.
Anything could happen. So are we saying that it's a bad thing that the best teams are actually getting through? We want. No,
I don't think it's a bad thing at all. And I mean, I love it for what it is. I think basketball is a sport where you play 82 games. You play a lot of games. It's a repetitive sport. It's kind of similar to track and field in that it really exposes where you are at it as a team. And that's why, like, people who say the regular season doesn't matter in the NBA, it's just like nothing could be further from the truth. Like, the regular season in the NBA after 82 games, it really exposes what you can and what you can't do, and it really exposes the best teams. And then on top of that, like you just said, it's a series, and so the better team has a built-in advantage with the home field. That's why you look at a team like the Knicks, like I said, like if you look at realistically, if they end the season in the 3rd seed, they're going to have to go to Boston and win. And then they're going to have to go to Cleveland and win. And then they're going to have to beat probably OKC. And I mean, can something like that happen? There's maybe a 1 or 2% chance that it can happen. But if you play that scenario out 100 times, 98 times, it's not going to happen.
I look at it as degrees of separation, right? So when I look at like the 96 Bulls, I see them as tiers above. So you could say they are prohibitive favorites, if not guaranteed locks, unless something terrible happens to make the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. And then it's just going to be like, are they going to win in 6, 5, or 7? But I think the equation changes when the gap between teams changes. Right now, you can say there are 3 prohibitive favorites, right? You can say definitely, OKC, Boston, and Cleveland.
Right.
I could see any one of those teams losing in the second round. And I don't think it's that crazy. And I just want to say to anyone out there who's saying, how are you arguing with 78 years of history? I'm saying that the league is not the same. This commissioner has pushed towards parity every step of the way. Every move with the CBA has been to push parity. And so you're going to have, and I think that's partially because they want to beat that. I think they want to beat the idea that, oh, this is a foregone conclusion. Right?
But Penn, to
well, now, Penn, I mean, let's be clear. I'm not saying any one of those 3 teams has 100% chance, but I'm saying the odds of OKC getting bounced, and then Boston also getting bounced, and Cleveland also getting bounced.
Oh, it's very unlikely. It's very.
Who said it was likely? Why would the 3 best teams all being bounced mean? Like, why is that a good thing? No. Why is the predictability or lack of predictability, being based on the fact that this incredible event where all 3 of the best teams get bounced in the opening round? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm sorry, I'm struggling to understand this. Maybe I'm stupid, but
I think he was just stating it as a fact, though, Penn. I don't think he was
I
trying
don't think
to say
he's
like
saying it's good or
he
bad.
was-
Sometimes
it is a fact. Well,
that's all, Penn. I don't think he was trying to push an agenda, bro.
Wasn't Toronto at the Penn? Where was Toronto at in 2019 when the playoffs started?
They were a 2 seed. They were a 2
number 2
seed.
seed.
Every champion since 2000 has been a top 3 seed.
A top 3 seed. Every last
that's
one.
What he said. He's not saying it's good or bad that that's the case.
Yeah,
the reality of the situation is whether you go throughout all of NBA history with the 2 teams that won a top 3 seed, or you go since 2000, every single championship, every champion has been a top 3 seed. That's it. It's not this is good because every champion's been a top 3 seed, or this is bad because every champion's been a top 3 seed. The reality is every champion's been a top 3. The reality is there's a lot of people in poverty. Me saying that does not mean I agree with poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just the reality of the situation.
I think
you like poverty?
I think all I'm saying is that the
gap,
I love it. The gap that I look at is between the best team and like the 10th best team. Every year, I want to understand how wide is that gap. Okay. Now, for most years in league history, that gap has been seismic. It's been enormous, right? Between the haves and have-nots, because the haves have stacked the deck. The haves have had bloated payrolls. The haves have paid luxury tax. The haves have been competently run, and the have-nots simply can't compete. Well, you don't have a Golden State superpower anymore. You don't have the Heatles. You don't have these types of juggernaut teams. Okay. Now you could argue that the Cavs are a juggernaut in their own right because of how well they've been managed. You could argue that the Thunder are a juggernaut in their own right. You could argue that. You could argue that the Celtics, are paying the luxury tax to be, their own version of a juggernaut, right? But what I'm saying is, I don't think that the gap between 1 and 10 has ever been quite this close, as evidenced by the fact that
Penn, I want you to stay right there. So what's the gap between right now with the Knicks and Indiana? I mean, they're 4 games away from each other, but what's the gap between these teams in your estimation?
How do I answer that?
The reason why I'm asking you that is because what you're telling me is that today there's a sizable gap between teams, but then you're also telling me that Adam Silver is pushing parity, right? So if Adam Silver is pushing parity, that means that he's trying to get as many champions in contention, one, or to win it, because that puts more eyes on the screen, that makes the league more popular, right? So with that being said, that gives people more hope that their team can win it. With that being said, that more hope that their team can win it. So with that being said, if there's a sizable gap, or is there parity? So if I think about the Indiana Pacers and the Knicks, what's the gap, or is it parity between those two guys?
They could beat them. The Knicks could beat the Pacers. The Pacers could beat the Knicks. I'm not against it. Like,
Right.
you know, one injury, one bad, you know, shooting game, and it tilts the series. Like it really just comes down to home court advantage, right? With two relatively evenly matched teams, it's on the team that has home court advantage to just hold serve and win the games you're supposed to win. So what happens when you go into the Garden and you're the 6th seed if you're, you know, Indiana, and you knock them out in game 1 because you had a hot shooting night? I think the 3-point shot is a huge swing variable. Huge. Because so many threes make the variance of the game so much greater, right? Like you really can't tell me 100% if the Knicks are going to win by 20, you know, because Indiana goes cold, or they're going to lose by 25 because Indiana gets hot. Like that type of variance has never existed in the NBA other than maybe like the 80s or the 70s. Like when the pace was higher, like it just creates drastic, you know, measurables. Now, the thing about the playoffs has always been consistent as the game slows down. It slows down. And typically your best players are going to carry you through because the shots get tougher. And as the shots get tougher, talent really shines. So there's a reason why these top end teams, you know, consistently are getting like the advantage in the history books. But I just think like right now, if you told me Orlando, they're struggling, right?
Yeah.
Paolo gets it together. If Suggs comes back, they could upset somebody. They could 100% upset somebody. That's a good team. They can be a good team. They have the pieces there to be a good team.
I have no faith in Orlando at all.
Well, right now you don't, because they're struggling very, very badly. But you know, even like in the West, right? I mean, through Luka's first 3 games, we were like, oh my God, this Lakers team, they're not going to hold on. We had a whole drawn out discussion about it. You see the last game against Denver, what they did. You're telling me Luka and LeBron can't win you a series upset, you know, in the first round? Definitely could, man. So I don't know, man. I think it's exciting that there's so many teams that I could see in the finals. But if you tell me the Lakers, like here's my question to you, Cho. If I told you the Lakers made it to the finals, would you be surprised? Like, would you be like, drop the phone? This is crazy. I can't believe
Lakers
that.
in the NBA championship, that would not surprise me. No, it wouldn't.
If the Clippers were in the NBA finals,
I would be like, oh shit.
Really?
Yes.
Because they're
like,
an amazing defense. So if Paul George,
the Clippers ain't made the finals ever, so it would be shocking to the world.
Well, 78 years. Okay. So sorry, not 78 years. Sorry. What I'm saying is
everybody in the world would be shocked. That means that curse ain't real.
Okay, if Anthony Davis comes back, no, just try to imagine what I'm saying. Like, close your eyes and imagine there's a world that Anthony Davis and Derek Lively come back. Would it surprise you if the Mavericks made the finals?
No.
Would it be shocked? Wouldn't shock me either. There's like 6 teams I could say that about in the West, and 2 to 3 teams in the East that I could say that about. And I'm trying to think back in league history, and this is why, like, to the chat who's kind of like patiently waiting for me to land my damn plane here, that's all I'm trying to say. Is I don't remember a lot of years in league history where I could realistically imagine 9 teams in the finals and not be like, something's wrong here. That's not true. You know?
Well, Penn, the cool thing is we have a finals preview tonight on Playback. What do you know? The Los Angeles Lakers, Luka and LeBron versus the Dallas Mavericks. Even though they're AD lists, we still get a preview of a team that went to the finals last year and has an opportunity to go this year on Playback. Yo, who's on Playback tonight?
Me.
And
the
who
big
else?
dog.
Nah, me and Jordan.
Oh, the big dog and the little dog. John D will be there too. And who knows?
Who the little dog?
Somebody.
No.
I didn't say
y'all
no
taking
names. I just said
y'all taking that Frenchie thing too far. I'm not no French.
Who said anything about what? Ain't nobody saying nothing about being Frenchy and being a little dog. Nah, we ain't saying that.
I wasn't even
saying that.
No,
he was talking to me, Jordan. He was insinuating that I was a pup.
I wasn't insinuating nothing. I just said the big dog and the little dog.
Ron,
I was talking about the teams. The Lakers are the big dog, or the Mavs are the big dogs, and the Lakers are the little dogs. So there you go.
Okay, that sound better. Sound a lot better.
Also, too, this week we got a lot of things we got to do here at PC. Not only do we have playbacks 4 straight nights, including a main stage on Friday, but this week we will be solidifying all of our 32 contestants in the PCL. So if you haven't got an opportunity to sign up, And if you haven't got an opportunity to get your shit straight so you can debate against the best in the world, well, now you have an opportunity to. You have about 2 to 3 more days to get in your application. Mike, I seen your application. Brax, I seen your application. He who shall not be named, I seen your application, and you guys have an opportunity to be a wild card in the PCL. But if you want an opportunity, and when you upload your video, don't just say, hey, I am Jerome Davis and I think I should debate. No, give us an actual good reason why you believe you can win the PCL, and maybe you'll be selected. So once again, you have 2 to 3 days. We need 32 contestants, and we're pretty much filled up. We've strategically selected the best people to participate, but we're looking for the best possible wild card too. We need 5 wild cards, and I have about 3 of them. So it's 2 more spots left. Insert your application, and maybe you might get in. And last but not least, how could I forget? It's a beautiful app that all of you guys need to download and use the promo code PANEL. Why? Because you can run your game, control your game, and win your game on PrizePicks, and you can ultimately get $50 when you play $5, and the promo funds come instantly. But make sure you don't forget to use the promo code PANEL. So how does this whole PrizePick thing work? Well, you download the app. You use the promo code PANEL. You pick your favorite players in your favorite sports, and they will give you a player projection. Like you see on the screen, LeBron James, 25.5 points. Well, when you see that, you have the opportunity to go more or go less than 25.5. And after you do that with 2 or more players, then you have the opportunity to win you some nice little money. And we are going to show you how that's done right here and now. Let's go ahead and get into it, fellas. We are on Playback. Well, it's not a main stage, so we could play around tonight.
Mars, you ready?
I got Jalen Green less.
Haven't heard that in a while.
I haven't been on while we've had a Houston game in a minute.
23.5. They done raised up the stakes. Okay, Jay.
This post.
Chill, you know you're going to?
Let's see. Not yet, Ox. I do not.
Okay, I'm about to go.
You can come back to me.
I'm gonna go Luka Doncic less on points.
Damn, he's back at 32. Damn.
Yo, he play. You know who we playing tonight, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna be there on Playback. Hey, watching.
You do know, like, hold on, where's that game at?
I don't know. Probably in LA.
What's the Dallas Los Angeles game? It's in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was about to say. I was about to say. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna do the right thing since nobody else wants to, and give me Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis.
All right.
Giannis hasn't really had a big scoring outing in a while, and I think tonight will be the night.
You got him cooking
more 27.5. What's his demon though?
Let's see about
40 tonight.
34. 34.
Give me that 30-point demon. Just give me that 30-point demon.
This one?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Easy pickings.
Okay, chill. We back at you.
Ox, let me see what that Golden State Charlotte game looked like. Charlotte has lost 2 of their last 3 games by an average margin of 40. They've been getting stomped on this West Coast road trip.
So you want me to go with Charlotte then or Warriors?
With the Warriors. I want to see what the over-under is on Curry. I'm sorry, more or less on Curry. Let's see here.
Oh, that's not Steph. That's B-Pies.
Basically,
that's insane. That's wild.
Do we have any action?
There you go.
Right. What was that? Points in 26.5 on Curry?
Steph going less than that. I'm sorry.
Wait. Go back. With that PRA is 36.5. I'll go more on that right there.
Okay.
Yes. I'll go more on that.
All right, let's go up to Jimmy right quick.
Does
he have free throw attempts?
No. Nah, he don't got free throw.
Cool. We gonna go ahead and send this through. Y'all see $20 turns into $240. We got Steph more on his PRA, 36.5. Giannis Antetokounmpo, a light night in the office, 30 points. He averages 31. He should be able to do that against the Houston Rockets. We got Luka Doncic going less than 31.5 in his revenge game against the Dallas Mavericks. And we got Jalen Green going less against Gary Trent. See how that goes. All right, well, send that through, and that's how we rocking today. Thank you. Come again. All right, y'all. We have reached that time of the week where I typically ask for a drum roll and where we go ahead and acknowledge the best commenters of the week. Let's get into it. We got the top 5 comments of the week, courtesy of the best chat in the world, courtesy of you beautiful people that get in the chat and do what you do best. I was actually reading the chat last night, and yeah, some interesting comments, to say the least. Shout out to Freaka, too, for coming through yesterday. All right, the first comment that we got today is courtesy of Natty Diesel. Natty said, wow, congratulations on episode number 500. One episode for every year Chill has been alive. Salute to you all.
Damn, I look good for a 500-year-old, right?
You look all right.
I look good.
You're making 500 look good.
500 decades? Damn, check me out. And by the way, no surgeries, Mars, no wrinkles, like no Botox,
Damn,
nothing
Jim.
like that.
I was about to say something crazy. I ain't even gonna say it.
All natural.
That's what I'm saying.
All
B.
natural is crazy.
100
Mars.
decades?
That's where you go.
Yeah.
How is this a comment of the week? Okay, jeez.
Respect Natty Diesel's comment.
Congratulations on
episode
500.
What you mean? How's this
Exactly.
comment of the week?
Pen be hating.
Made a little joke at the end. That's good. That's good content for the comment section.
You got the Street Hoops picture. Hey man, that's look. This is comment of the week. Like this is standard. Like, good profile picture.
More like
Solid
50,
name, Natty
not
Diesel.
500.
Threw a joke in there. Like, come on, and
Are
congratulations.
you giving away the blueprint now? You need a good profile picture. That's why I ain't ever got comment of the
Yeah,
week.
man. Show 'em some love, man.
All
Well,
right.
let's see how the trend continues to go. MKB 2003 had to say Chill's head-to-head was insane. I can't stop crying. Rewind the tape 5 times already. Dub PC.
Chill was getting to it for a 500-year-old, especially.
You know, that was hilarious because like where I was standing, I didn't even see that like live because Ron, y'all said something about it like that night, and I was like, what are y'all talking about? And when I seen the video, I started dying. I didn't see that like when they went head to head. Like that was crazy.
That was the best part of the whole San Francisco trip. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Stop talking. Give me the ball.
That was hilarious.
Hey, Chill did have him shut his mouth.
And y'all remember, this is after he gave Big Ox a bucket and after he gave Jordan that MJ midi.
Man, Ron always on bullshit, man.
What? I'm on
He's
bullshit.
just giving people the timeline. He ain't
nobody asked for the timeline, man. Go to the next comment, man. What are we doing?
I'm on bullshit, or your defense was on bullshit.
For the record, the Drench Man is advertised. He 100% is as advertised.
That's all that matters.
I was talking about him before we went to San Francisco. I said you can't call yourself the Drench Man and you ain't swimming in it. And he 100% is. Oh, he stay fresh. Yes, he does.
There we go. Appreciate you, Chill.
He
Appreciate you
fresh.
for turning this.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you for turning this conversation to another lane because Ron was about to do something disgusting, which I feel like he still is, but
Nah, we're gonna move on to the next comment. I don't want to upset anybody or make anybody feel uncomfortable here on the panel. Forgotten E had this to say. He said, overall though, this was absolutely one of the best episodes to date. Don't get it twisted. Elite performance by you guys. Everyone came in today and got busy in their own respective way. Looking like the dream team out here. Shout out to everyone, and especially the ones who started this whole foundation and made it into what it has become today. It has led to greatness, and PC is only getting started.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
100%.
100%. Yes, we are. Hang around, man. It's gonna be some good stuff in the future. Hang around.
No doubt. I want to shout out Wilt Chamberlain. I think that's Shaq. And then I want to shout out Bill Russell. That's Dale. And then I want to shout out John Stockton. That's Dub. And then JD, that's Bob Cousy. Shout out to all of them. Y'all made this happen. Crazy pace. So y'all was getting a lot of things off, but y'all did what y'all had to do. Salute to y'all. Next comment of the week is courtesy of Jamal Mareri. Jamal
M. Rary.
Great profile pic.
It looks like Lester to me. All in all, Lester Imrari had this comment to say, there's something special about this group of panelists. Please stay together forever.
We'll try, man. We're going to hold it
together. Forever, man.
I can't wait till the day that I can't wait till the day we're making age jokes about Mars. That's gonna be amazing.
And then it's gonna be a smaller Mars on here.
I'm waiting for the day, and I'm gonna be around. That's why I take care of myself, because I'm gonna be around when Mars has to deal with some 20-year-old or 21-year-old
or 55-year-old, because we don't know how old Mars
call him
is.
a punk,
or whomever it is that says that Kobe Bryant was playing against plumbers.
I'd probably agree with him. If we in
100%.
If we in 2060,
I'm gonna
and
be
the
around
2000s still look like a viable brand of basketball, then I'm not gonna lie, the NBA just failed.
Aaron McKee, plumber.
Like, there's just no way.
Wally Zerbiak,
there's no
plumber.
way we can be in 2060 and someone can go back and watch the 2005 NBA Finals and be like, yeah, this team would win a championship in today's game. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, they have to say the game was trash. Because if we in 2060 and 2005 looks like it's holding up, then the game has failed, in my opinion. Like, the game is meant to progress. It's meant to look outdated. So in 2060, I hope this current game is outdated. Otherwise, we've failed as a basketball community. So hopefully it is. That's what I want to see. I don't want to be here having to be like, oh, well, back in my day, Jefferson, you would have been getting buckets on these. Like, I'm not trying to do that. Like, I'm not trying to do that.
Al Jefferson might get buckets.
I hope not. Like, that's what I hope is the case.
He'll be cooking today.
Al Jefferson eating.
Yeah, that's fine. He can cook today, but if we're in 2060 and apparently he still would be cooking, then the game has failed. So,
no doubt.
All right. The next comment of the week is courtesy of Kevin Bryant 6977. Kevin Bryant said, "You don't know how happy I was seeing Shaq, Euro, and Dale. Ain't nothing compared to the 2021-22 PC, man."
Good times.
It's a hell of a time. You had to be there. And shout out to Dub too. Kevin
well, you didn't
Bryant.
have to be there. I mean, you could just go back and watch the old episodes.
Yeah. But Mars, it's like going back and watching like the 95 finals, 96, 97. It was something like, it's cool to go back and watch it.
Oh yeah, you don't have the nostalgia.
You don't have the nostalgia.
Because for real though, Mars, like, the air was different in the 90s. Like, everything was different. Things smelled different. The air was different.
Yeah, I'd hope so. Less pollution.
There's no old
everything.
TV show y'all still watch?
Everything was different in the 90s. You just had to be there.
I don't watch TV.
Everything was different. I'd hope everything
basketball.
You never watched Family Matters?
Yeah, I did watch Family
Okay,
Matters.
so Cap there.
Now I'm saying I don't watch it now.
Okay, but I'm saying, like, you can go back. You can go back and watch a couple of those episodes. See how some of those how some of those takes aged. Bol is Wemby. Shout outs to Shaq. Shout outs.
Yeah, Shaq was wrong for that.
He wasn't really wrong. I mean,
come on,
he's kind of wrong.
Come on now.
He wasn't really.
Pretty wrong, Mars.
He said,
I think so.
They said we ain't never seen a 7'4" guy coming up shooting pull-up threes and doing all this stuff. He said we seen Bobo do it. That's all he said. You acted like he said Bobo and Wemby were the same player or just as good as each other. He just said Wemby. He said Wemby wasn't the first player we seen at his size shooting pull-up threes. That's what he said, and he was right. Bobo was doing. So you guys hating on Shaq because you guys don't listen to what he said.
Ralph Sampson was pretty damn good, but
yeah, but he wasn't shooting pull-up threes. He wasn't shooting pull-up.
He was shooting threes though.
Bobo was shooting pull-up threes. That's what he said. He was correct. Bobo was doing them step backs and stuff. If you watch him in high school, you watch him in college for them 9 games or whatever, like, he did those things. So he was right.
Shout out Big Ball.
Now everything else he said, yeah, whatever, but that part was right.
All right, and last but not least, we have another comment that was snuck in here by Inshallah 4280. El host special request. Wouldn't mind seeing that matchup. Initially, I'm thinking hero based off a character off of career accolades, but Friga is a dog, so never discount that.
Hero's winning comfortably.
I saw that clip.
Tyler Hero's winning comfortably, and Friga knows Tyler Hero's winning comfortably. Right? We don't need to pretend.
I got my money on Friga.
I just like dudes who say, "Yo, touch it up, let's go."
Yeah, I got my money on
like
Tyler
that.
Hero for sure, but I'm not gonna just act like we not talking about basketball right now.
I like
You know what
that.
I'm saying? I didn't like that yesterday from Swiper. Oh, he's cooking. Like, nah, I mean, probably so. But we talking about hoop right now. When you win that game, we win that close gym, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. I don't know.
I need to see it because we talking basketball. And if you
get a bucket every day,
you at a level, if you know what I'm saying, if you a bucket getter, you a bucket getter. That's what it is.
Tyler Friga is a bucket getter, and so is Tyler Hero.
I got. If we putting money on it though, I'm putting mine on Tyler. If we talking real money, you know what I'm saying. We talking about a couple bucks, I'll put some on Friga, but like Tyler's supposed to win, but I'm not just going to just discount him because you know
I'm putting my bread on Hero to win, but I'm taking Friga, over 5 points.
Up to what? Oh yeah, he's gonna get 5.
Game to 11.
Damn. Okay.
Okay.
Up to 30, I was like, yeah, he for sure gonna get 5. Up to 11,
yeah, bro, not little neither. He's not little.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We seen him in person. He's not
2.5, 6'3".
He not. I mean, he not big, but he not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So to 11, like getting over 5.
Yeah, but he not like skinny, so it's not like he gonna like bully him. So you know what? I want to see that basketball game.
Mars, I scored 9 on Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, and then he started trying, and then you lost.
Right?
11
you don't think that he could score 5 or 6 on Hero?
If Tyler Hero not trying, yeah, maybe.
He was trying.
I'll ask you a better
question. If
Tyler
Hero not trying, he might beat Tyler Hero if he don't try. Bro.
Would he beat Chris Matthews?
I'm talking about real basketball.
I've never seen Lethal Shooter play basketball. I've only seen him shoot, so I couldn't tell.
I've seen him shoot. I don't know what his one-on-one game.
Yeah, I've never seen him do anything.
You never seen his college highlights?
Yeah, but I still ain't seen his one-on-one game. I've seen some college highlights.
I don't know about one-on-one, but I've seen his college highlights. He was.
What school did he go to?
Dribble with him. St. Bonaventure, and he went to what school is in the same conference as I think Arizona State. He went to 2 schools, but St. Bonaventure is one of them. I can't remember the other school though.
Yeah, I've never seen him do anything in terms of one-on-one, so I couldn't tell you, but he can shoot. And he understands it.
Yeah, I wonder who he talking about. That guy was saying, he made 135 threes. Who are you talking about?
Some TikTok. I think I'll be seeing him on live. He be knocking them down.
I think you told me about that. I think you said you be seeing him just make 40 in a row all the time.
White guy, he just be like, I'll be scrolling on TikTok, and then I see the live he's shooting, and you see the counter. He's at 112. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And on top of that too,
when he went 105 for 105, this guy doing it every day.
On top of that too, Friga, he being a gentleman about things. I think he has a good media, good media training. You know what I'm saying? Like they probably tell him, keep it a little cool. I really don't think he feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a hooper, I'm thinking he like, nah, I'll torture a couple of these dudes, but he got to keep it cool. Don't want to, make it no big deal.
Oh, he don't want to make it no beef when they see him.
Yeah, but I'm not even that. I'm not saying he's scared. I'm saying more so from a media standpoint, like a PR standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's between him and his team. I don't know. I'm obviously I'm speculating, of course, but I'm just saying like I don't see somebody that's a bucket getter that really is doing these type of things. Going around saying, oh no, I'm just keeping it cool. Like I think. You just got to have a different mentality. And especially we talking about basketball right now, bro. You could get at anybody when you at a certain level. When you at a certain level,
that's because you anybody. That's because you think like that. You stay yapping at dudes. Like, I don't care who it is, I'll bust your ass. That's you, Ox.
Yeah, and that's more so from when I'm being younger though. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was free at age, I'm on that. Like what? I play for your contract. We can get to it. Right now, I'm understanding right now, like at my age now, or just with how my my knees are set up now. Like I'll still get with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't say too much because I'll lace them up. I keep my shoes with me. So that's all I'm saying. Like, bro, when you good, like bro, is really a bucket? Nah, I'm thinking this is media training, bro.
Yeah, Ox ain't just saying that. I've seen Ox get at plenty of league cats. Plenty of them.
And Ox was going reverse baseline spin.
I got everything in my bag, Jordan. My footwork is impeccable.
Okay.
And
I told you, but see now, I ran into Jordan in real life. And he backed that. So next time I see you, have your shoes with you.
I'm gonna have my shoes ready.
Because we
cool.
own that.
That's cool. I'm gonna have them ready.
Yeah, you niggas just keep me out of this.
Yep.
Ain't nobody scared of this.
He still come around me in flip flops because he know better.
All right. Anyways, the only Bob I'm gonna acknowledge from here on out is Cowboy Bob with the super chat. This is what Cowboy had to say. He said Tibbs values seasoned players, playing Shamit and Precious over Fulport and Pacome. I like Fulport too. He been hooping a little bit, but he said we are too late in the season to see if these rookies can work. It's also our drop coverage defense that's lacking. OG shut down Tatum. Need new eyes?
No, he didn't.
No, I forgot about Shamit too.
He doesn't play Black Hartenstein because I think he's just so bad offensively. But
what's his name, Mars?
Black Hartenstein. I don't know. That's Black Hartenstein.
Well, Hartenstein black anyway.
Hartenstein is black.
Dark skin Hartenstein.
Yeah,
Darkenstein.
Darkenstein.
So you don't play him just because of how bad.
Yeah, that's fire, boys.
Darkenstein is heat.
But yeah, that pick and roll defense is terrible, and you will never believe who's the one guards in that pick and rolls. It's Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns. So yeah, Mikal's been a big problem defensively.
How about that?
So, yeah.
What has happened to Mikal Bridges as a defender? What's going on with Mikal?
No, I mean, I'm sure Nets fans from last season could tell you the same thing. He wasn't good defensively last year either, but he still had the reputation because, respectfully, no one was watching the Nets win 30 games, so they just was like, "Oh, Mikal Bridges is a good defender." That's why I say defensive reputation takes a long time to go away. Like Mikal Bridges has been viewed as a good defender for like 3 years, and he hasn't been a good one in like 2.5.
But Mars, that's because you just go over here so fast. Like now you're just calling him just a terrible defender. It's like
he's not terrible.
Mars,
he's not good. You said he's not good, Mars.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not terrible.
You said he's not good.
Mikal Bridges would be fine if they weren't asking him to be a point of attack screen navigator. He's okay in other areas of in isolation, he's still good. In isolation, he's still a good defender. Away from the ball, he's not the most active, and sometimes he's ball watching or he's just lazy in terms of rotations. But he can actually, for some reason, he can get around screens off the ball, but on the ball he can't do it.
That's where he's the most effective because he played that. That's where he's the most effective when he's off the ball, getting around screens. Point of attack, and he's an on-ball defender. When he's an on-ball defender in New York too,
and he's bad
getting around screens. To your point, getting around screens because he's athletic, because he's able to navigate through screens. Point of attack defender. When I think about a point of attack defender, I think about a guy who I'm on the basketball when it's coming across half court and navigating screens. What are guys doing 40 feet away from the basket with a screen coming? Not much is going on, as opposed to when we're closer to the basket, closer to the long ball line. I don't think Mikal Bridges is that bad as a defender coming off those screens, especially on the ball. Now, when you're talking about off the ball, I think that's way different.
So I want Mars. I think
Mikal Bridges has been a bigger problem as a pick and roll defender than Karl-Anthony Towns has.
So is that so? Where is it? Because I need to. I want to start watching.
No way that's
intently.
Hell no.
Because I think
the reason I might be one of those guys on that bad is because Mikal can't get around the screen.
That's not true.
Hold on. What is it?
You put Jaden McDaniels, who I also think is a regressive defender, but still one of the elite wing screen navigators.
He regressed in 1 year.
You put Jaden McDaniels as that point of attack pick and roll navigator. I can assure you, Karl-Anthony Towns looks like a better defender in that pick and roll. I can assure you. The reason his pick and roll defense looks so bad is because Mikal dies on every single screen.
I'm not saying that in this sense, Chill, that this is correct as far as with the Mikal. I'm going to believe Mars for this one, but I can see where that makes sense though, as like if your pick and roll defense is lacking, then that's going to also bring mine down too. I understand that. What I'm saying is, has Mikal actually been that bad? And why? What is it? Because I'm thinking maybe I am just reputation watching now. I want to pay a little more attention. He just dies on screens. That's what makes him a bad defender.
Yeah,
because I'm going to pay more attention to that for the rest of the season.
He's dying
because I need to see that. I need to see that.
When you
Mars, what did he do after he down the
this
screen?
week, Knicks Grizzlies? Oh, the Knicks, the Grizzlies don't set screens. That's a terrible game to watch. You actually might look
The
good on
game,
defense.
the game Sunday is a prime example. Like to say that he dies on every screen. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. What does he do when he dies?
The Knicks are one of the better. The Knicks. I'm sorry.
He ends up in rear view pursuit, and then you got Karl-Anthony Towns.
That's what screens are for. That's what screens.
He doesn't get back into play.
He does get back into play. Miles.
So
the problem
is Towns in a drop?
I wish we could show footage. Like I can't just keep saying the same thing over and over, and I can't show proof of it.
This is crazy to me to think that a guy who used to be, I think Mikal Bridges finished second or third in defensive player of the year. So now we go from that
isolation defender. He was
right,
the second
which he still is, which he still is a damn good on-ball defender. Which he still is.
Yes, very good.
He's still a damn good on-ball defender. When he's in screens, when he's getting screened, which that's the idea, and I know that I'm getting screened, I'm gonna completely die on screens. No, I can't just die on screens because what I do is I completely thwart my defense. I can't get taken out of plays when that happens. Well,
yeah, but if he's getting screened, if he's chasing, that's what it's gonna look like. If
he's not getting like.
They don't switch everything.
Getting hit by screens is fine. Every great screen navigator gets hit by screens. Lou Dort gets hit by screens. Jaden McDaniels gets hit by screens. Nikhil Alexander-Walker gets hit by screens. Every great screen navigator is going to get hit by a screen.
Right.
What do you do after that point? Do you die? Are you out of the play? Do you get back in the play? Are you getting put in jail? What's happening? Mikal Bridges is one of the worst screen navigators in the NBA, not only because he gets hit and dies on every screen, because he doesn't get back into the play on said screens. And he's making Karl-Anthony Towns look a lot worse than he is. Karl-Anthony Towns, one of the worst big defenders in the NBA. He looks a lot worse as a big defender, especially in pick and roll, because Mikal Bridges is also one of the worst pick and roll defenders.
Right, Mars, we understand that, Mars. We understand that. The only thing I'm asking you is when you're watching, are you seeing him just walk, like kind of like jog behind the guy? Is he not trying to get back in front? What do you mean by he's not getting back in the play? Is he not? Is he just standing? Is he turning around, standing and watching, or is he pursuing? Is he? What is he doing?
He's completely out of play.
He's not turning around and watching. He's not just, I got hit by the screen, we're just going to watch. But he's definitely not making concerted effort to get back in front of the ball. So he's quite often leaving Karl-Anthony Towns in a 2-on-1. You got two options if you get hit. Well, there's many options, but the two main options, you got either work to get back in front of the ball, or you guys pill switch and you take the big and you make sure the big can't get behind Cat and you're trying to front him. You're trying to just get below the big so he can't get that low. He doesn't even want to. That's what he doesn't even want to. He doesn't make a concerted effort to get back in front of the ball, or he's not sealing the big so the big can't get behind Cat.
Right.
Those are the two options. He doesn't do either one of them at a good enough level. And Karl-Anthony Towns is so bad at containing the ball in drop coverage that they're getting fried.
So Mars, because we live in such a pick and pop, pick and roll, pick and dive heavy league, because we live in that kind of league, and because Tibbs is such a defensive minded coach, why the hell is Mikal Bridges leading the league in minutes? Why is he on the floor if he's that bad? Why is he even in their lineup? He should not be in their lineup if he's that bad, Mars. This is making me crazy.
You have to
talk about this dude. If he's that bad as a pick and pop, as a screen navigator, if he's that bad, knowing who Tibbs is, I'm not going to play this guy and stay on the floor consistently. I think Mikal Bridges leads the league in minutes. And if he doesn't, he's second in the league in minutes. And if he's that bad, why is he on the floor still?
Ask Tom Thibodeau that question. I don't know.
He's averaging like 18. What is he averaging like 18?
I would absolutely be playing their best point of attack defender in Deuce McBride. That's who I would be playing. But they don't. But he wants to run with Mikal Bridges. You have to ask him that question.
Like, so on McBride minutes are more valuable than Mikal minutes? He's bringing more to the team?
If you're going to use Mikal Bridges as a point of attack defender, yes, Deuce McBride is more valuable in that role. Clearly, to me. Clearly.
Okay.
Now, what's the reason why Tom Thibodeau is playing him? I don't know. But I know if I was the coach and I'm saying, Mikal, we need you as a point of attack screen navigator. Yeah, I'll pick the person who's better at that than Mikal.
I mean, he bringing 18 points with him too. It ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's been fine offensively. Like the offense hasn't bothered me. It's the defense is the problem, and they're using him wrong. He's not a screen navigator. He's not a good screen navigator at this point. So you're asking him to be your point of attack pick and roll defender. You're making your defense worse.
How many times does he actually get in pick and rolls like this? He getting in there a whole game?
Well, that's the thing that I'm trying to make sense of.
I couldn't tell you how many possessions a game. I'm not counting. But he is their
Yeah, but
primary.
if it's
pick and
like
roll.
only like 2 or 3 times a game that
It's not
happens,
2 or 3
then it's
times.
not
He's
really
that
that
he's their
effective.
primary pick and roll defender for a reason.
Right. It sounds like
It's
the
not true.
action. It sounds like teams.
I mean, I don't know if you're a
consistently
primary pick and roll defender if you're a guard. I mean,
He guards point guards.
as a
That's what
center.
he guards point guards.
Yeah,
He's
but
guarding
I,
ball handlers.
because
That's his
Jalen
role.
Brunson
He guards
can't.
ball handlers. Yeah, he guards ball handlers. That's his role. He guards primary ball handlers.
So
He is
so,
their stopper. If
so
you go
if-
against OKC, he's guarding Shea. If you go against the Warriors, he's guarding Steph. If you go against the Lakers, he'll guard Luka.
which he
Like
struggles
he's
against.
their point of attack, ball handler defender. That's who.
Hell
that's
yeah,
his
he
role.
struggle with them. Chill. Everybody gonna struggle with them.
everybody
That-
struggle
that's
with
his
it.
role. That's his role. That's
When you one thing I learned is when you consistently guarding the best wing player, you're getting cooked most of the time.
100%.
Like you being the best defender on the team, you're spending your whole season getting cooked.
I'm just thinking.
I want to.
But with all due respect,
can I just make? Because
Supposed
once
to.
again, can I make what I said real clear?
I have
When I said Mikal Bridges is a bigger problem than Karl-Anthony Towns in the pick and roll, this is what I meant by it. So it's going to be called backtracking again. The Knicks got Karl-Anthony Towns knowing he was a flawed pick and roll defender.
100%.
They got Mikal Bridges thinking he was a good pick and roll defender. Mikal Bridges being as bad as he has been is making Karl-Anthony Towns' life harder. We know Cap's not going to make his guard defender's life easier. We know he's not going to do that. So when I talk about the bigger problem within their pick and roll defense, is it the one you knew wasn't going to be a good pick and roll defender? Or is it the one who you needed to be a good pick and roll defender to make your defense competent? The one that's the bigger problem, in my opinion, is the one that isn't doing what you thought he was going to do.
I understand.
Not the one who you know is like, if Steph Curry shoots 2 for 11 from 3,
Was he good
and
last year, though,
Draymond
Mars?
shoots 0 for 5 from 3, the bigger problem is not Draymond missing threes, it's Steph Curry. Because you know Steph Curry is the one who needs to make threes, not Draymond Green. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I do.
Karl-Anthony Towns is functionally a worse defender than Mikal Bridges. But the bigger problem for the Knicks defense is not Karl-Anthony Towns, in my opinion, because they got him with that knowledge already.
I think
Which is-
the eye
That's what-
test on
that's what I
Mikal,
meant. But
the eye test
and I
on
get it.
Mikal says
But I
that
guess
he's
I
a
gotta
better
be more
defender than he
clear,
actually
like,
is.
people are
Like
just-
when you watch Mikal for one quarter, if you're not really watching, like if you ball watch a little bit, you could sell yourself on the idea that he's a good defender. He has a lot of hallmarks of being a good defender. He's twitchy, he moves fast, he's got long arms. He looks like someone who's supposed to be a lot better defensively than he actually is. But then when you start to really, really dig into how his play is impacting the players around him, I think that's when you start to really see the holes. And yeah,
The reason why I'm because Mars, I get your point 100%, because in Minnesota with McDaniels, with Alexander Walker, with let's just say those two. We have guys on the perimeter who are really good at navigating screens, so we have an opportunity to protect a guy like Cat in pick and roll, in pick and dive when he's playing in drop coverage, 100%. But if you're the Knicks, you do know how bad Cat is in drop. Even if you are anticipating that this guy in Mikal Bridges is better, you're building your defense around that. So because you're building your defense around that, time goes by. If you don't recognize that he's that bad and you're still doing it, why are the Knicks still as good as they are if he's this bad as a defender? Why is he still on the why is here's the difference? I think the Knicks
they're 22nd in defense and 3rd in offense. They're good because of their offense. Their defense sucks. Like, so that's why they're good. Their offense. And Mikal Bridges is a big part of that. But that's the answer to your question. So I don't know what
this
point
doesn't
he's
make
trying
any,
to make.
this
That's the
doesn't
point.
make any sense to me whatsoever.
Orlando was a good team because their
so it
offense
sounds
sucks and their defense
so it
is
sounds
good.
to me like the Knicks are living. So it sounds to me like the Knicks are living solely on their offense. That's what it sounds to me like they're living.
Pretty
They're
much,
living.
yeah.
They're living
They're a good
primarily
team
on
because
their
they're a
offense.
really good offensive team.
So this whole thing with the Knicks is a mirage. OG ain't as good as a defense. This whole thing's a mirage.
that's just not,
100% it
that's
is.
not, that's
No.
not how it works.
Here's why. Let's
Dyson
say it.
Daniels is a good defender. The Hawks'
let's say-
defense sucks.
Let's-
You can
no,
have
no,
good
no,
defenders and not be a good defense.
No, Mars. No, we're not going to do that.
Me, no,
Because
that's
if
the
Mikal
reality.
Bridges-
Me, no.
Because if Mikal Bridges isn't that good of a defender, if
Yes.
OG Anunoby, who is an all-league
Who said
defender,
OG's not a good defender?
OG's a great defender.
Why is
Ain't
this
nobody
so
say
bad
that.
defensively,
I
then?
know,
That's
ain't
my
no,
question.
I know, ain't
The
nobody
Knicks
say that.
Hang on.
Why are
The
they?
Knicks are
why-
better
I
than
got
OG
the
is bad.
perfect
You know what
response
that
to
sounds-
this.
The
I got the
Hawks'
perfect.
defense is bad. Is Dyson
Why are they
Daniels
so
a bad
bad then?
defender? No.
If
Chill,
have
I got
all-
you,
if
I got
have
you,
all-
I got
Dyson
you.
Daniels
You
is a
have
bad
these kind of
defender.
defenders on this team.
You have
Why are
two
they
good
so
defenders on
bad?
the team.
Chill.
Mitch coming
Why-
back soon. Chill. Mitch
There's
will
two
be back.
good defenders on the team.
Chill.
The only good defender, the only guys who have been good on defense this season for the Knicks, in my opinion, really good on defense, Deuce McBride and OG Anunoby. Josh Hart has been a good, capable on-ball defender, not the screen navigator, but isolation. He's been capable. He doesn't play. He's not in the rotation. Mikal Bridges has been a good isolation defender, but they're using him incorrectly defensively. So he has been overall, I would say he's been a negative defensive asset. Jalen Brunson has had the best defensive year of his career and is still overall a defensive negative. Karl-Anthony Towns might be the biggest defensive negative in the NBA relative to position and minutes played. The reason they are a bad defense is not because they don't have any good defenders. They have at least 2 good defenders, possibly 3 good defenders. Mitchell Robinson coming back, that might be 3.5. I'm not as high on Mitchell Robinson's defense, but he's cool.
Me neither.
The reason they're a bad defense is you can't just put a couple good defenders on a roster and say, well, why is the defense bad? Like I keep saying, the Hawks defense sucks. Dyson Daniels is a good defender. Jalen Johnson is a good defender. Onyeka Okongwu is a solid defender. The defense still sucks. You can't just have 2 or 3.
Because why, defenders. Mars? This sounds like like coaching. Because Go ahead. Penn.
I got you. Chill.
Crazy.
Help me understand this. Why did the Titanic sink?
What?
Well, the Titanic actually didn't sink. That was the other ship that they replaced for the insurance fraud thing. So
the Titanic sank.
Okay. Conspiracy theories aside.
The Titanic sank.
That's not conspiracy. That's just. Okay. Go ahead.
I need to give me some insurance money.
No.
You know how many people had to die for them to get paid, Ron?
I ain't say nothing about nobody dying or no Titanic. I just said I need me some insurance.
Per the film, basically the architect explains, and I'm just going right back to 1996 to the Titanic. He said, if this compartment and this compartment sinks, if that floods, we're cool. We can stay afloat. Sure. This one, we're trending. But if this one,
we're going under.
We're going under. Same way defense works in the NBA. Every single time. The offense's goal is to score. So what are you going to do? You're going to try to get your star player free of their best defender. Now it really matters who's that next guy. How well do they communicate? It really breaks down when you have 2 liabilities on the court. The amount that you have to work to put a competent defense around Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson is the point here. And OG Anunoby not being able to single-handedly elevate a defense that's not an insult to OG. In fact, nobody can really just single-handedly in the NBA today one-man anchor a defensive unit that's not a big. Now, the reason that Rudy Gobert can do a better job than OG Anunoby is just largely because of where he plays on the court.
Right.
Because the most efficient shots in the NBA are what? Layups, open layups, dunks, etc. So that's the efficient place. That's the place that the Knicks can't guard. They can't guard the paint. And the second most efficient thing is threes. And by the way, they can't guard that either. So really, it's just like you know how the Titanic is like 5. They're like eight compartments flooded. The whole damn thing is under defensively. And I was thinking about the Phoenix Suns the other day, and I was thinking to myself, D-Book is such a good player. KD is such a good player. Bradley Beal is serviceable at times. Why is this team so bad? Why are they losing to the Raptors? Getting blown out by the Raptors? Why are they losing to so many bad teams? And I thought to myself, could I construct a roster using only mid-level exception guys in the NBA, so guys who would typically qualify for the NBA mid-level, and put a competent, good, playoff-bound roster around those 3 players? Yes, I could.
100% you could.
Yeah, but I
ask you the same question with the Knicks. Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby. And all the other roster spots have to be mid-level exception guys. So you don't get Josh Hart, you don't get Mikal, but you just get mid-level exception guys. Could you put a contender together with 9 mid-level exception guys, OG, Cat, and Brunson?
So
I think you could.
So Penn, to answer your question and to go back to your analogy with the Titanic, okay, so I know for a fact that once we get to this point, the ship is going under, right? I do know that. Well, as the captain of this ship, it might be a good idea that I don't hit an iceberg. So we get to that point. That might be a good idea, right? So with that, so with that being said, to Mars's point, he's telling me that Mikal Bridges is not a very good screen navigator. He knows that for a fact. Mikal Bridges is not a very good screen navigator, even though I do have really good, competent defenders on this team. This sounds like a coaching thing because I'm not using my better defenders, because Mikal Bridges is a good defender in a lot of ways. I'm not using my better defenders in the way that's going to be beneficial to us. If I got Mikal Bridges on my crew, who's a damn good defender. If I got OG Anunoby on my crew, who's a damn good defender. If I got Cat, who's arguably the best rebounder in the league. If I got this on my team, we should be better as a defense. Why aren't we better as a defense?
Chill.
This sounds like coaching to me more than anything.
If I sell you a fake insurance policy and your house burns down, I got news for you. You ain't got insurance. You're not covered because it was fake, right? Defensive reputation that Mars alluded to, that's a real thing. There are players in this league that are considered good defenders because we don't have the best tools to measure defense.
Like
and
Leonard.
for 2 years, they haven't really been all that great. They look
Give me
good.
five. Give me five, Pin. Give me five.
5 players who are just not that great defensively anymore that have a solid reputation.
You have a great reputation.
Great reputation.
Leonard.
Kawhi still gets that generational defender, and he's not that player anymore.
Paul
But
George.
is he still a plus? Is he still a plus though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kawhi's still a plus. I think of another one.
Paul George.
PG's a good. PG's
I think he's a
okay
reputation
defensively.
defender.
Mitchell Robinson actually, weirdly enough, gets way more credit as a defender than he actually deserves. Mikal Bridges is another one. Josh Hart's another one. Shoot.
Wait. Mitchell
Josh Hart
Robinson.
is
Mitchell
very-
Can we stay with Mitchell Robinson for a quick second, y'all? Real quick. Well, I mean, he hasn't played in months.
He's
But
a one
other
trick
than
pony
that,
defensively.
what's going on with Mitchell Robinson? Because I sometimes feel like y'all want these big, and that's I knew you was see that's where I was going. I was just about to say that.
Hartenstein doesn't.
Y'all want these bigs to be able to stay in front of point guards for longer than 5 seconds, longer
Which
than
they
3,
shouldn't
4,
have to
5
do.
I'm not
seconds.
asking Mitchell Robinson
And
to
that's
do that.
that's
If a
crazy.
point guard
like-
can't stay in front of a point guard, then a center can't stay in front of a point guard. I'm sorry.
I want you to be mobile. I want you to be mobile as a big, like as a defender. I want you to be able to move your feet. I want you to be agile. I want you to be able to close out. But if you can be Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Bam, AD, that's a plus. Like that's just a super plus. That means I got a dog I can sick on anybody. But if you can protect my paint, keep your hands up in the passing lanes, talk on defense. Do all the things that you need to do when you're in the paint. Rebound, rim protect. You don't got to be a crazy shot blocker, but if you can alter shots, if you can keep your hands, go vertical, things like that, cut off the baselines, just do things like that. Bump people, be big, be physical. I can't really ask too much more as far as you being able to like versatility is a necessity to a certain extent. Like I don't need you if you can't switch on the shooting guards and stay in front of them.
I still got to do my job though, Ops, as a guard.
Yeah,
You know what?
I can't leave you. I can't leave you as a big. I don't want Olajuwon matched up on Kevin Johnson. I don't. I got to get around the screen and I got to get back to my man. I don't want that. That's not good defense.
Because like for you to say Mitchell Robinson is not a good defender because he can't do that, I don't buy that. Mitchell Robinson.
I don't think he's that good of a rim protector.
Well, wait, but Pin, that's crazy, Mars. That's crazy. There's nothing you can say to justify that, bro. There's nothing you can say to justify that.
What do you mean there's nothing I can say to justify that?
Like I said, that's what I mean.
Why don't you think he's a good?
You don't think Mitchell Robinson is a good rim protector based on what, Miles? What are you basing that?
I think his discipline at the rim is questionable in terms of just jumping on
like leaving the ground, jumping for pump.
Yeah, I think he's a bit too foul prone around the rim. I think when he does contest, he's very right hand dominant. So you can actually just beat him if you force him to defend on certain sides of the rim. He chases blocks primarily with his right hand. I also think his timing in terms of shot blocking is not that good. So in terms of just if you're able to time up his jump, you're probably gonna score on him. I could go to some numbers, but I'm pretty sure teams shot like 5% better with him around the rim. Like obviously we know the stats are flawed, but if you're a 7'1" individual and the number says that teams are shooting better with you at the rim, that's probably an indicator of something. I'm not saying he's that bad, but that's an indicator of something. For reference, I think Cat's around 4% in terms of teams around the rim when he's in the game. I also think a big reason why their defense was better without him on the floor is because of how much better Hartenstein was than him. So I don't hold that against him. I just think Hartenstein was really good, but I also don't think he's that good of a defensive rebounder. But I think just as a pure rim protector, I don't think he's overrated. I don't think many people talk about him, but I definitely don't think he's solving the Knicks' problem. top 10
Okay,
rim protector.
okay. Well, so
Top 10 rim
so
protector
saying
in the NBA.
that saying that he's
I don't
not
even think
going
he's close to a
saying,
top 10 rim protector. I don't
saying
think
that
he's
he's not
Oh,
going to
okay.
completely solve their problems, and then saying that he's not a good rim protector.
I said he's not that good. That's
He
what I
helps.
said. He's not that
He
good.
helps
Okay.
a lot.
He's not that good.
Well, and so
Fox, do you think he top 10?
Mars, I can agree. Hold, one second. Let me think about that. But Mars,
All right.
I can't agree. I can't agree with the his over anxious. He's over anxious he jumps a little bit. That's I can agree with you on that. Other than those other things, I gotta disagree. But I shouldn't have said you can't say anything because I know that you can say something. But I'm with you on that one. The foul thing is kind of like,
Well, I wanted to ask Mars,
that should be different. I don't really know.
I do want to ask that, Mars. You think that Jaren Jackson is foul prone?
Yes, I think Jaren Jackson is foul prone.
Do you think he's a good rim
Yeah,
protector?
I think he's an amazing rim protector. I mean, I gave up several reasons beyond being foul prone.
Right.
But yes, I think one of Jaren Jackson's drawbacks is that he's foul prone. Yes.
I think one of the
But he's still an overwhelmingly great
I think
defender.
all bigs that block shots and stuff like that are gonna be foul.
He doesn't block that many shots though.
Yeah,
but when he's
okay.
I don't know how many shots you
protect
get.
the rim.
He doesn't block that many.
But I'm
But
saying, I'm not saying
contesting shots.
I'm not-
Contesting shots.
Yeah, if you contesting shots around the rim, you're gonna be foul pro. I think
that's
the
whole
whole defense without fouling thing comes from Kawhi Leonard being able to have more steals than foul. But that's a forward or guard. Bigs don't do that.
For reference, I just looked these numbers up. This is me not knowing the numbers beforehand. I'm looking them up now. Last season, Mitchell Robinson defended about 10 shots at the rim per 100 possessions. He didn't play 100 possessions a game, so this is obviously adjusting for how many minutes he played, assuming he played 100 possessions. He contested about 10 shots a game at the rim. Team shot 5.5% better than they should have with Mitchell Robinson at the rim.
But you're doing that in per
teams
100
actually scored more.
kind of
Teams actually scored statistically.
Yeah.
Teams scored more points at the rim per 100 possessions with Mitchell Robinson as the contesting defender than they should have. Now these stats
as opposed
Can
to
I
what?
ask you a question, Mars?
Yeah.
If you have the information handy,
relative.
how well do teams shoot with Zion at the rim? I just want a random, understanding of whether Zion is a better rim protector than Mitchell.
According to Zion, barely contests at the rim. It's like 6 times per 100 possessions, and you got to factor in that he's not a primary rim protector, so the personnel he's contesting at the rim is different. But this season is by far the best number he's ever posted. He's actually 11.3% better than expected when Zion's a contesting defender. Last year was 1%. The year before that, 2.6%, 3.5%. So Zion's number is better. But if you compare him to like a rim protector, for example, someone who I think is very clearly a better rim protector than Mitchell Robinson, Derek Lively, 13 rim contests per 100 possessions. Team players are shooting 9% worse than expected with him as the contesting defender. When you're 7 feet tall and the number says teams are shooting better with you as the contesting defender at the rim, obviously the numbers have flaws. I'm not saying it's a perfect number. For example, Jokic, players are shooting 0.5% in and around that range of when Jokic is a contesting defender. That's not good. Vucevic will be another one who has a very bad number, I assume. Same thing with Valanciunas. Those guys will have bad numbers. Mitchell Robinson's number being that concerning, I think there's some credence to it. Is he that bad? Because his number is worse than Vucevic and Jokic, for example. So do I think he's a worse rim protector than them? No. But do I think he's that good? Do I think? Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to make it clear. I'm not saying he's worse because of that number. I'm definitely not saying he's worse because of that. I just looked these numbers up now.
And I'm trying to get
the
back
number
to that.
is saying that. I do think there's some credence to what I originally said was I don't think he's that good of a rim protector. I think he's okay.
I just want to get back to the point you were saying before that. Like to Jordan's point when you were saying about being foul prone. That's why I was kind of like doing this because it's like, of course I'm foul prone. I'm you know what I'm saying I can test shots at the rim like. You know what I'm saying?
The great rim protectors aren't that foul prone outside of like a Jaren Jackson who is.
I mean, just by nature of the business. Like I get what you're saying. Where you can say like, okay, Dikembe fouled less or blocked more, or Hakeem or
he's
or
an athletic 7 feet tall.
Like I can see what I can understand that. But just the nature of the business. I'm in the business of contesting shots at the rim. I'm in the business of stopping people from trying to score at the. I'm jumping. I'm getting high. So that alone makes me foul prone. So that's the only reason I'm saying.
It's a minor nitpick. I think I had bigger nitpicks than the fouling, but I want to. Jordan asked if I do I think he's a top 10 rim protector. I said no instantly, and I'm standing on that. But I'm gonna just say some names. Stop me when you think this person's you think Mitchell Robinson's a better rim protector than this player. Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, Kristaps Porzingis, Jonathan Isaac, Bam Adebayo.
Take it Isaac out. He don't play just like whatchamacallit. But I'm
But
a big
neither does
fan
Mitch
of Jonathan
Robinson.
Isaac.
Neither does Mitch
I'm a big
Robinson.
fan. Jonathan Isaac don't play more than him though. I can tell you that.
I mean,
Yes,
this
he
defense
does.
has, but fine.
he
Take
has been.
this is okay.
has.
Take out
But I would
Jonathan.
agree with you. I'm a huge Jonathan
Take
Isaac
out
fan,
Jonathan
so I would agree
Isaac.
with you.
Nicholas Claxton.
Wait,
Jakob
hold on.
Poeltl.
Let's stay with Bam because I think he's I think him
Bam.
and Bam are around the same level of rim protector.
Interesting.
No.
I kind of agree with Ox because if you look at Mitchell Robinson blocks per game, right, and usually blocks per game go down because they know you're gonna block it, so they stop giving you the same looks that you possibly would get.
Deterrence.
So
yeah.
so I think that's why I probably would agree with Ox on that. Like a lot of his is deterrent. Bam guards on the perimeter a little bit more than him too, though. So
a lot
he's
more,
not
yeah,
in a
sure.
position.
We just talking about at the rim. That's
just
Yeah,
rim
but
protection.
Bam is not in a
Not at the rim.
position at the rim as much as Mitchell Robinson. At least the stat, I don't know, but from my
I mean, I could look up the
guessing,
stats,
I
but
probably
I'm
would say
inclined
I
to
don't
agree
think
with
so.
you. I'm inclined to
Yeah.
agree.
Just at the rim though. Just at the rim. I think
Yeah,
him and
just-
Bam
yeah.
are on similar levels though. Yeah,
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
similar. Nicholas Claxton.
Keep going.
I'm
Keep
kind of
going.
iffy on that, but I get
Oh,
you
yeah,
on that.
I'm sure.
No, I'm
I'm
not.
with
For reference, teams
No.
are shooting 2% better with Bam at the rim. So the numbers say Bam's not that good at rim protection.
Yeah, it's because he's
Um,
all that's for that.
But obviously, once again, do what
Yeah.
you will with these numbers.
Yeah.
I said Jakob Poeltl. I didn't hear anything, but
I like
I got
I would definitely put
Jakob
back on
Poeltl is
Jakob
good at the
Poeltl.
rim, bro.
He's not that great a rim protector. He's been better lately, but he has.
Yeah,
that's
I don't
about
know, but
What's that about 7 Mars or 8?
yeah,
right
but
there?
that's in the
there's
East alone.
plenty.
We got about 6 that didn't have
Okay.
pushback, and then Bam and
I
Jakob
just
Poeltl.
think I like Mitch a lot more than y'all. So
That's right.
I like
Okay,
Mitch
and then,
too.
then we
You
go
also
out west.
said you
Then
would
we go
start
out west. And
Jonas
I think
over him,
this is
so.
going to be. I think we're going to get through quite a few in the
we're
west.
gonna go AD.
So,
I like Jonas Valanciunas.
Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. They're both better. Jaren Jackson is obviously better.
You think Hartenstein's better at the rim than Mitchell Robinson?
I mean, Jordan, yes, he is. 100% he is.
It's gotta be racist. It's gotta be racist.
Yes.
How is it racist? They both black.
Nah, he don't look black enough for you. It's gotta be racist.
What? What?
It's gotta be
Hardenstein
racist.
Hardenstein is one of us though, Mars. But anyway, you have 4, Mars. Keep going.
Zubac,
Yes.
Rudy Gobert,
Yes.
Derek Lively.
Rudy Gobert.
Yes.
Daniel Gafford. Who else we got?
Wait, hold on.
So we y'all just cool with Daniel Gafford?
Wemby.
Hold on,
Yes,
yeah.
we should be cool with Wemby.
I'll give you Wemby. Gafford.
Wemby,
It's a lot of names,
Donovan
man.
Klinger. Walker
I'm not
Kessler.
taking, I'm not taking the
No.
Brook.
You guys aren't
Not
serious.
taking Donovan
This is
Klinger.
serious.
I'll give you Walker Kessler.
First year,
Robert Williams as well.
I'll
Robert
give
Williams as
I'll
well.
give you Walker Kessler. I'll give you
Robert
Robert
Williams
Williams.
probably is too, but
I'm not giving
If
what call it first though?
See, if Donovan looks like Darkenstein,
No, it has nothing to do with
It's
it.
not that. It's no. Wait. Let me. I'm just gonna tell you where I'm coming from with Klingon, specifically Klingon is the making up the space, getting from this side of from this block to this block to contest the shot. I think Mitch closes that space much faster and gets in the air much faster than Klingon. I think speed. I think the speed and explosiveness is much
quicker,
faster.
He's quicker off the ground for sure. But I also think Donovan Klinger just takes up more real estate at the rim anyway. Just his size.
That motherfucker big as hell.
He's huge. He looks like the biggest player in the NBA.
I wish the Rockets.
I know he's not as big as Zach Edey, and he's not as big as Wemby,
You've been
but he looks like the biggest player in the NBA.
He's big. He big. He's huge. He's huge.
So
He's
he legit
short
seven.
seven.
He looks
Seven.
ginormous.
Yeah, he like 7'1", like maybe
that motherfucker.
two. He
Smart.
big as
That's
hell.
one thing about him.
My biggest issue with Donovan Klinger is similar to Mitchell Robinson, the fouling thing. Like he fouls a lot.
He's
but
a
in
rookie
terms of-
though. He a rookie though.
Yeah, and I expect that to be cleaned up. But in terms of when he's at the rim, people don't score. Like people don't score when Donovan Klinger's at the rim. Like, they just don't.
He looked like
Mark,
you know
next year. I'm not gonna give it to you his first year.
Why would you not? Why would we not acknowledge it?
Because
just
no,
he's
I'm
a
acknowledging.
rookie?
No, I'm
are we
acknowledging.
serious?
It's because I'm saying things happen. Like Mitchell Robinson came out his rookie year tearing it up at the rim. Like so, I'm saying things happen like to where over time people develop. It's like a quarterback. You can't say a
You're
quarterback
saying
is
they
having the
need to
best
figure
season.
him out. Once they figure him out,
Yeah, like you got to get that film on them first. You got to get that tape on them first, like they got it on Mitchell Robinson. So you can't compare somebody with no tape.
This is not an apples to apples comparison. This is not.
Why is not?
No. You don't even know the comparison I'm about to make. So
I thought you were saying from now. I'm about to say, why is it not?
I'm telling you the comparison I'm about to make is not apples to apples. But
okay.
Did you feel the same way about Wemby last year? That you was like, we have to wait. Teams might figure him out as a rim protector.
No.
Did you just know he was one of the best rim protectors in the sport?
I'm gonna tell you why. No, because Wemby is an outlier, bro. Wemby is clearly an outlier.
Wemby is an outlier. Did you feel the same way about Chet last season? About Evan Mobley as a rookie? Did you feel the same way about them?
Evan Mobley, not Chet. Chet is an outlier too, but Evan Mobley, yes, but not Chet.
Interesting. Okay.
Chet and Wemby is outliers, bro.
If that's how you view it with certain players, that's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I'm sorry, I don't see how you can't just say Donovan Klinger's a better rim protector than Mitchell.
Well, but chill, to your point, because he takes up a lot of space. Mars, y'all right?
Yeah, he do.
Like chill, he look like one of them. Like, you know, he have to bend over. He look like he have to bend over to get out the door and turn sideways. Like his shoulders is like
the house, like the house.
He got a high motor too, bro. He got a high motor.
He can't fit through the door.
And for reference, since looking up these numbers, Donovan Clingan players are shooting 13.5% worse at the rim with him around.
Mars, I know. All I'm saying is this though, Mars. I'm gonna give you.
And he's contesting 12 shots per 100 possessions.
I need to see. You know, after they get him on film, it's just like the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks come out there throwing
I understand what you're saying. I just wanted to, because I've gone to these numbers for every player that we've had some contesting about. So I just wanted to let people
go
once again go make it abundantly clear. I'm not saying guys are better because of these numbers. I'm looking up these numbers.
Compared to Mitchell Robinson's rookie.
I hate defensive analytics.
Mitchell Robinson rookie.
Yo, I'm about to step in. We've been talking about Mitchell Robinson for 40 minutes. So I'm about to step in.
That's what we do.
2.4 blocks a game is crazy, Ron.
And that's cool. But one thing I do want to say about this whole thing though is we're comparing Mitchell Robinson to the best rim protectors in the league. Can we compare him relative? Can we do some VORP? Can we compare
Mitchell Robinson in his rookie year was -5%. So like half as good as
I just
2.4 blocks a game, Mark.
Can we compare?
I'm just talking about rim.
Can we compare Mitchell Robinson to Precious Achiuwa? Can we compare him to Darkenstein? Can we compare him to the people that
Darkenstein is probably a better rim protector.
Oh, well, either way it goes. I'm not just talking about rim protection. I'm talking about, and I know obviously their defense is their main issue, but just as a player, he's much better than all of these other guys that are playing.
Yeah, they're not playing, but they're not playing with the same players, right? This is what I hate about defensive analytics, because they isolate players and attempt to estimate how good they are as rim protectors or switch bigs. But nobody's stopping anybody by themselves. So it matters who your other teammates are. Okay. And you know what? You're going to give Donovan Clingan a lot of credit. Let me extend some of that credit to his teammates. Okay. Toumani Camara is a friggin' awesome defender. Okay. Denny Avdia is an awesome defender. You know what Toumani Camara and Denny Avdia have in common? They would be starting level defenders on the Knicks. Easily. And they're much better than Karl-Anthony Towns.
Who they taking out?
Better.
He just said starting level. He's not saying
defensively.
Danny
Avdia is a friggin' amazing.
Hold on.
We
got to get our language. But we got
to
get see maybe. But we got to get our language together when we say starting defenders. You play offense and defense. We can't just say starting defenders.
Okay.
This ain't football.
Toumani Camara would be the Knicks' best perimeter defender.
There we go.
Probably would agree with you. Probably would agree with you.
He's that good.
And Advia.
Toumani is in his first year.
Not.
I mean, y'all, we want to play basketball. Like, think about
they figured him out already.
Think about how you.
No, they ain't figured him out yet. They ain't figured him out yet.
Think about how you score on a team.
Not on that badass team.
Size and 3 defenders, and the other 2 guys, even if they're not great defenders, you know, it's not like Donovan Clingan is surrounded by, you know, Kawhi Leonard and Michael Jordan. Like he's not surrounded by Scottie Pippen. No, he's got 2 very good defenders around him. There's competent defenders around.
What is Portland's
players.
Defense though, P?
I don't know.
It better be top 10 the way you talking about them.
No, it's bottom 10. It's bottom 10, I think.
So what the hell are we talking about then? They ain't too good in no damn defenders.
Because he just hyped. Y'all just hyped Danny Avia's defense too. Like he's solid.
Their defense is actually The defense actually
bottom 7.
No.
Yo, I'm about to
That's
step
crazy.
in. I'm about to
Yeah,
step
but
in.
Ryan, didn't he have his defense
in the
not
new
like
year?
that?
That
Y'all
defense.
All
was
right,
not-
that's cool, y'all. I'm about to
Compare
step
top
in
10
because we
defense since
got some super chats that we got to get to, y'all.
Oh,
So we
talking about
gonna
tomorrow,
continue to
tomorrow,
advance the show. My man Teddy Hart sent through a $25 super chat. He said, "Why do teams give the last shot to the best player instead of who's the best equipped for the shot needed? Example: OKC needs a 3 to tie the game, and SGA, average at best 3-point shooter, gets the ball as opposed to a play ran for any of the other 3-point snipers on the court."
All right, let me answer that
pressure.
one because most of the time, this is how the NBA thinks. The NBA is based off of they want to get the ball to their best players majority of the time on offense. They want them to have the ball almost every single time because they feel like that's the most efficient way to play basketball. And by the numbers, probably when you run it in a computer, it probably makes sense. Also, clutch. Somebody might be a hell of a 3-point shooter, but they just might not be as good in the last minute of the game. Shea probably is as good in the last 30 seconds of the game, the last 3 seconds of the game. So I'm going to give him the basketball. Okay. Now, other leagues like the Euro League and stuff like that, they don't play like that. Sometimes, but not really. They kind of run an action with the best player or who have the ball to create the play for the shooter. It's kind of flipped a little bit in the NBA. But
I'm pretty sure last night SGA was their best 3-point shooter.
I know that, but that's
Who
what
else
I'm
was
saying.
knocking down threes for them last night?
But look though, Mark, that's what I'm saying though. The
Wiggins knocked
NBA
down
does it exactly what I just said. They want the ball in the best player's hands because that person is probably the best with the last 30 seconds on the game. Even somebody else like maybe JJ Redick is on the team, and I'm just using JJ Redick, so don't kill me for this. But JJ Redick is on the team. If Shea's on the team, I'm not running this play for JJ Redick to shoot. No, not
and
the
by
NBA.
the way, and to your point, Jordan, they practice this stuff. They practice to have their best player shooting the basketball. And I can appreciate Teddy Hart's logic that I do want my best 3-point shooter maybe shooting the ball when he's in, just like I want my best free throw shooter when in the meat and potatoes of the game. I want my best free throw shooter in the game. I want my best rebound in the game. However, we go over this kind of stuff in it's situational stuff in practice. And SGA is probably the guy with the ball in his hands late in games when it's a minute and a half or it's 2 minutes or it's 30 seconds. He's probably the guy in practice with the ball in his hands. They're not running action for Aaron Wiggins to crack a 3.
Or Isaiah Joe.
No,
Isaiah Joe. Because and also this is where the narrative's playing too. Because what does Shea look like passing up every shot that hits time down 3 and he passing it to Isaiah Joe every time? They're going to create that narrative. He's running away from the shot. He's running like they do with LeBron. So it's like, no. And Shea's a damn good shooter, by the way, too. Like,
and
it's
Teddy,
nothing wrong with Shea shooting.
To answer your question, it's more of a confidence thing because I definitely don't want to lose my guy, right? So if I got a scorer that's a bucket getter and I'm not going to him late in games, I think that's a confidence thing that he starts to, well, am I not good enough to get the ball? Or then he starts taking bad shots, which will throw us off the track. So I definitely want to keep my best shooter or my best scorer engaged when we in the meat and potatoes of games.
Honestly, there's so many reasons. There's so many reasons to do this.
He was
right. Like there's so many reasons to put the ball in your best player's hands. Number one, they probably get the most attention, so they're going to create the most. Second of all, they're probably most used to creating something when things break down. Right. Third, this is an entertainment product as well as basketball. This is not pick up at the park. So fans have an expectation to see Trae Young take that final shot and not Clint Capella. Okay. So that's another thing. Right. So I think there's a lot of reasons for it, but perhaps like the most important reason for it is just putting players in that position who haven't traditionally performed or done well in that position or had a lot of experience in that position is tough. Right. Because then you have the questions afterwards of why did you do that? Right. Whereas I think it's sort of a cop out. I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm not saying it's just as a coach. If I was a coach, I'd be like, why'd you give the ball to Jalen Brunson? Be like, well, okay, that's not a tough question to answer. Like he's our best player. That's our guy. Why did you give the ball to, I don't know, Mitchell Robinson to create? Like now I have questions.
For the record, when Jordan gave the ball up to
Steve Kerr,
Scottie, when Jordan gave the ball to Scottie Pippen, that was not designed for John Paxson to be that wide open. That's not the way that was designed. It ended up happening that way. And sure, Horace Grant made the right play, but that wasn't designed for that to happen. Jordan made it clear to Steve Kerr, they're going to double me. So because they're going to double me, you're going to be open. And when you're open, I'm looking for you. All right, I'll be ready for that.
Yeah, Steve said, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. Yes, I'll be ready. And shot a deep two.
Like, Teddy, I understand what you're saying. I know Shay's
What I mean when I say that, Pen, is I'm going to be ready, even though that wasn't the design. The design was if Jordan was open, he's the guy. But he was the one who attracted the most attention. And to your point, he knew he was going to attract that attention. So he goes to Steve Kerr. They're going to double me. So when they double me, I'm going to be looking for you.
You can be aggressive. Like, okay, here's my thing. There's a lot of players that are considered pass first, right? Like a guy like LeBron draws a lot of criticism, right? I don't care if LeBron takes the final shot. That might be an unpopular take, but I really don't. He's a great passer. That's his. I would say he's a better passer than he is a scorer. I mean, he's great at both, but he's an incredible passer. So if he's going to make that play, the only question I have is, were you looking to score? Now, if you're not looking to score, now we got a really separate problem, because you definitely need to be looking to score on that final play. But if you draw a three and you don't launch it, I'm not mad at that at all. I'm happy you found your Kyle Korver or your.
It just depends on who on my team, though. It just depends on who on my team, because I'm like Kobe Bryant sometimes. Like Kobe felt like his shot over two people.
Got to know your
better than the open. It's better than the open person.
That's the situation with Shea, though. That's the situation with Shea. I mean, yo, think about it. Like we're talking about the OKC Thunder, and we all have our reservations about the other guys on offense. Now, obviously, it's a couple guys that could have shot the shot.
You do more than anything, Ron. You got your reservations about them more than anything.
So we're talking about 3-point shot. They got a bunch of shooters over there. Yeah, they could have drew up they could have drew up a three for Isaiah Joe. Yeah, they could have, but you're not drawing up a play for Isaiah Joe when you have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the league MVP. I don't care if he is a better 3-point shooter. I need a bucket. I don't care if I need a 4-pointer. I'm going to Shea.
At what point is that not the case? Like if
Shea hand is hurt,
and if Isaiah Joe is 7 for 7 from 3, and Shea is 0 for 4 from 3, are you still going to Shea for the 3?
What you're probably gonna do is you're gonna do that. What's that ghost screen? You're gonna do a ghost screen. Worst come to worst, you're gonna do a ghost screen. Shea,
but Shea gonna create though.
You give it to Joe. That's worst come to worst. But the ball is in Shea's hands no matter what.
Oh, in his hands for sure. We're not asking Isaiah Joe to self-create. I don't think anyone's asking for that. I mean, I would have gone to Shea regardless, because based on last night, no one can make a 3, especially down the stretch of the game. No one can make a 3 for OKC. So I would have gone to Shea. But in terms of, in the general sense, if Isaiah Joe has it going, or J-Dub is having a good game from 3, and Shea's not, which happens often, you don't have to go to Shea just because he's Shea. Like, you can draw something up, whether that's an off-ball play that gets in a guy like Isaiah Joe in open 3, or like you said, you run a ghost screen, you see what the defense does and who it reacts to, and you have multiple options. It doesn't have to just be 1-4 flat, Shea go get a bucket. Like, it doesn't have to.
Yeah, I don't even. Last night wasn't that either. It was still a pick and roll, and Shea
he came up from the nail, got it, and then one dribble pull up. Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I think it's always going to be some action, but regardless, the ball is going to be in Shea's hand, and regardless, it's going to be like you have the option to shoot it. And it's up to Shea to make the decision whether, even if they're doubling him, whether I'm going to come off the ball or whether I'm going to shoot it. And either way it goes, I'm comfortable with the MVP of the league's leading scorer, a dude who's averaged 30 going on 3 straight seasons, a dude who has proven he's a tough shot maker. Shea, if you shoot the ball with 3 people on you, I'm comfortable with it. You got to live and die by it, because that's who he is.
We're going to talk about what happened last night.
But yeah, you want the ball. You want the ball in his hands. I just don't think you have to draw the play up for him. But you want him to touch the ball, whether that's passing or shooting. I'm not saying I'll give the ball to Isaiah Joe in that situation from 30 feet and ask him to create. But can you draw up a play that gets and looks for Isaiah Joe for open on the wing or in the corner? Yeah, you can do that. More often than not, these out of bounds plays aren't creating an open 3 for someone off the ball. More often than not. But you can have that as an option, and then Shea is like, we'll get the ball to Shea if we have nothing in terms of the creating an open 3. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to go to Shea and be like, oh, create something. You can try and see what else we have available. But
I'm not too mad at that too. And you can always use Shea and J-Dub as decoys. Even Chet, you can always use those 3 as decoys to get one of those other guys. Aaron Wiggins too. That's a dude who I would love to get an open shot. Even Casey Wallace, I wouldn't be mad at getting him an open look. You know, they got options, and I mean, you can always use the star players decoys. So I do feel that too. But I'm like, Teddy, and this is directly to Teddy Super Chat. When you got Shea, it's kind of like, and he got it going. What he had 37 last night.
Shea.
Yeah,
39,
he
right?
had
37,
30, just 37, 39,
I think he had
40. He ain't have 40. I know he
you,
had 40.
you,
37,
you get
38.
you get a ball to SGA, and he got 37.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I don't think anyone's questioning. Well, other than Teddy Hart, I wouldn't have questioned last night. I would have gone to Shea for sure.
All right, chill. What you wanted to talk about that OKC game?
I do want to talk about that OKC game, but I know you got to read super chats.
No. Let's talk about it. If you weren't watching, OKC was up 19 in the fourth quarter.
They were
up 16 with under 4 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Yeah,
and the
16.
Wolves went on a 16-0 run.
Yep.
With Ant on the bench too. I don't think he was on the bench for the whole time, but I know he was on the bench for a considerable amount of time.
I thought they did a good job in utilizing their twos too, because I know we live in a 3-point heavy league. I 100% know how big a deal that is to crack the long ball. But to my man Ox's point, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And
that's my point too, Chill, because I said that why we leaving dollars on the table when we could just get twos? Why would we do that?
And I thought that Shannon, who I really dig, I thought he did a really good job when they were getting back in the game, getting to the rim when that 16-point lead or that. First of all, it was up to 20. 20 went to 17, 17 went to 14, 14 went to 11, and next thing you know, we right back in it. And why are we right back in it? Because we're getting stops. I thought they did a good job in blitzing and getting the ball out of Shea's hands. And Shea, who normally relocates, but I thought they did a good job in keeping the ball away from him when he tried to relocate. And they made other guys like Isaiah Joe, they made guys like Aaron Wiggins try to make plays. And with them rebounding, and I got to give Finch a lot of credit because he's stuck with that unit. And because he's stuck with that unit and what they were doing was working, they had a rhythm, and it's so 100% worked. I love that about them. And I got to give more credit too, Ron. You turned me on to him probably 2 years ago. I don't really pay a lot of attention to McDaniels as a scorer. He can get buckets. He is a bucket getter. I didn't realize. I just thought that he was a D&3 guy, a guy who can just knock down an open shot. Maybe he can get to the rim from time to time. We could actually run action for him. Now, I'm not saying that we run an action for him on the regular, but we could run stuff for him because we could get him in mismatches. Where
you hear that, Pin? Pin, do you hear that?
We can get
as confused this time as last time.
We could get him in mismatches because at 6'9", he's really good in the mid post. He's really good with jab and go and just shooting over the top of guys. But in the end, I thought it was a big deal. What Minnesota did was getting more twos than threes and getting stopped and keeping the ball away from Shea at the end of that game. That's what got them back in the game. I thought Coach Finch did a great job at that.
Wait. Not having bigs hurt.
Right quick though, was that a playoff level scheme? Them doubling Shea at half court every time he brought the ball up?
Well, no, they ran a zone and doubled Shea. I don't think that's a playoff level.
That's a playoff scheme.
I don't think so.
They did something differently than what they do. They played him last night. They didn't do this last night.
They ran zone last night. They ain't doubled him as much as they did then. But I also think a part of it was they didn't have anyone who they normally have operate in the middle of the zone, which is why it made it so effective. OKC not having Hartenstein to close the game because he went out, and then obviously not having Chet, I do think it made things more difficult. They had to go to their small ball lineup because obviously they're not going to play Jalen Williams because he sucks. So they had to go to the small ball lineup.
Damn, Mars, Jalen Williams sucks now?
He is whack, yo.
Yeah.
Not J-Dub, the other.
Okay.
Yeah, not J-Dub. J-Dub's good.
We're talking about the
Jalen
big
Williams.
Jalen Williams. He's whack.
Yeah.
He's
shout out to other Williams. I think
yeah, he's whack, yo.
So the Timberwolves played. I think they played that into their hand because they were putting Alex Caruso in the middle of the zone. He was trying to get downhill and stuff, make things happen. It wasn't going great. Then they tried to put J-Dub in the middle of the zone. I think his lack of size wasn't great, and they were giving up threes to guys who, like I said, this is going to be a lot of teams' game plan against OKC. Get the ball out of Shea hands. Can Aaron Wiggins? Can Casey Wallace? Can Lou Dort knock down shots? And they went cold at the wrong time. I think they missed 3 straight threes from 3 different people. I think J-Dub missed one. Aaron Wiggins missed one, and then Casey Wallace missed one. Like they all got the open looks within the zone that teams were willing to give up, and they couldn't knock them down. So I think it's a testament to Minnesota that they went to that defense, and it worked because guys couldn't knock down shots, and they didn't have that big in the middle of the zone. You put Hartenstein in the middle of that zone, that's a flow every time. He's getting to that flow, he's scoring over the top, but you can't do that when you have Alex Caruso there. So it's a different look. So
and we also have to I have to give Coach Finch credit to put Ant Edwards on the bench in the meat potatoes of the game and to stick with that lineup, that small ball lineup that he had, and it was working. It was 100% working because I felt like the ball was moving a little bit more. Guys were relocating when they got off the ball. And when Oklahoma City tried to jump and trap, even though Caruso, as good as he is, and as good as he is in rotation, I thought they did a real good job in moving the ball and keeping that defense off balance and getting to the rim. And because you don't have any rim protectors, because you're playing a small ball lineup, and Minnesota is countering that with also a small ball lineup, but guys to get to the rim, that was a detriment, I felt like, to Oklahoma City.
I mean,
yeah,
you-
those
you
guys
had-
had to go, and Ant was doing some foolishness down the stretch. He missed a three. Then
That's
turned
why
it
he got
over.
that.
Yeah,
I feel
so,
like
he
I feel
was
like
doing
that's why he
foolishness, to be
benched
fair.
him.
So,
Mhm.
shout out to Chris Finch for making that decision. That's a tough
Yes.
decision.
All
Alex
game though.
Caruso,
He didn't
Aaron Wiggins,
really
and
have
Lou
his
Dort.
best game. Ant
Made that
gotta play better.
game saving block though.
He did. So
So-
he came in and did make he made a game set, a championship level play. I'll give him that. But Ant got to play a better brand of basketball on the offensive end. He
I think
just
it's-
has to.
Ron, wait a minute. Go ahead, Penn. I'm
It
sorry.
has to- it
I
has to come down-
definitely want to.
It does come down to the other guys sometimes. So you had Caruso, Wiggins, and Dort shoot 3 for 15 from 3.
Sure.
Those 3 guys, okay, you lost this game by 3 points. If they shoot 4 for 15, you go to double OT. All right, like it was a narrow win, and on the other end, you had guys like Terrence Shannon Jr. and McDaniels playing out of their minds. So I think this is just one of those.
What if Ant shoot better?
That's fair, but I mean, you're gonna stop somebody, and you're gonna let somebody go. They clearly let others cook, and they wanted to stop Ant. That was their game plan, and it worked to that extent. I don't think others were supposed to be that good, but yeah, I don't know, man. You play this series out, it's over in 5.
And Ron, I don't think Oklahoma City's going to lose to Minnesota in the playoffs. I'm not going that far. But Ron, to your point, I think Ant gets tunnel vision when he gets the ball. And when I say tunnel vision, I mean like I don't think that he looks to do anything else but score. He's looking to do other things when he can't do that, and it kind of throws him off the track. I'm watching Casey Wallace sit down in the chair in front of him and get him off the ball. I'm watching Caruso sit down in the chair and get him off the ball. And I didn't really see much else after he got off the ball. There wasn't really a lot of action with him diving to the rim as much, even though the lane was wide open, especially when they went to that small ball lineup. A lot of that action could have worked if he had done a little bit more off the ball. But I don't think that's Ant. I don't think that's his game. He gets a lot of tunnel vision when he has the ball, and he's got a guy like Casey Wallace or Caruso in front of him. This guy can't guard me. I want to show how good of an offensive playoff scorer that I am.
Is he just making up his mind before he catches the balls? He's like, okay,
so.
this.
I mean, he's wired to score the ball.
Yeah.
He's wired to score the ball. So
That's
his
what he
first
is.
instinct is going to be, how can I score? But I think he made solid reads last night. I don't think last night playmaking was the issue. I think sometimes he just got caught. I mean,
Shots
and
on
OKC's defense will do that to you. Like, it's hard for me to be like, this game
Can't play
proves
with the ball at the
Ant's
top of the
flaws.
key.
Like, there's just certain things that you can do against other teams that you can't do against OKC in terms of with the ball in your hands, or like when you're driving without much of a plan, because OKC are ready for all of those things. But I think his reads were okay. I think the problem was there was one really dumb 3 he took. I can't remember when
Mars,
it was. But I think
we were saying this when we watched him play against the Rockets.
against
on
Houston.
Playback.
Well, no, that
Yeah.
Houston game, I actively think he was bad. That Houston game, I think he was
Well,
bad.
even
Last
these
night, I
last
don't
2
think
games,
his
though,
decision
like-
making was as bad. I don't think.
Well,
his decision-making
here's
was bad.
Ant's problem: is he only passes when he has to. If Ant was just more receptive to pass, I think it will open up the game for him and his teammates a lot more. Also, too, I think what's the biggest issue? Like, yeah, he's wired to score and all of that. I just think Ant doesn't trust his teammates, in which I can't be mad at him. Mike Conley is a grandpa. Rudy Gobert, even though he didn't play last night, is Rudy Gobert. Jaden McDaniels, even though he is good on, he has the capabilities to be good on offense. Some nights he's just terrible. So, like, when you look at their team, and Nas Reed is cool, but when you look at their team, it's like
He's the only one that can really play make. Like
Exactly.
Nas Reed's the only one that can really make a play for Ant or
Yeah.
somebody else. Everybody else needs somebody to make a play for them. But my point is, I think Ant just needs to learn how to post up, bro. Like, good scorers gonna get doubled at the top of the key all the time. If you don't post up, you make it very easy for you to guard. That's why you seen guards like Karl-Anthony post up, Kobe Bryant post up. Even sometimes like Luka Doncic will post up. Like, you need to know how to post up in order to stop that. They'll double you, but it's gonna be hard for them to double.
Out of the
It's
post,
easy to
or
double
in the
somebody
post.
from the top of the key.
yeah.
So
I'm worried about.
I think he just need to learn how to
The
post
post
up,
game
bro.
would be valuable for him to have.
And I know
Yeah.
that I know that we hear nitpicking. I'm worried about Oklahoma City's defensive rebound. And I know that Chet wasn't on the floor last night. I know that Hartenstein was in and out of the lineup. But I mean, the same thing happened the night before when Chet was on.
They
was
had
on the floor.
15 minutes of competent center play against a pretty huge team.
That's not good enough, Penn. That's not.
Okay, but that's how many. That's how many minutes Isaiah Hartenstein played last night. 15 minutes. So I'm not.
I mean, well, with that being said, Naz Reid was the center for the whole night, and Luka Garza played the.
Hey, Luka Garza a good rebound.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying like.
No Rudy, no Julius Randle, no DiVincenzo.
The Thunder are a questionable defensive rebounding team. They're not the worst in the NBA, but they're not great, especially among contenders. They're probably one of the worst. They might be the worst defensive rebounding team among contenders, but I think it can cause problems, and I think they've accepted that. I don't think they're going to lose a series because of defensive rebounding. I don't think that would be the reason they would lose. Personally, I don't think.
Mars, those second chance opportunities are a big deal, man. Those
how many turnovers they force? I think
there are certain teams that could probably exploit that more than others. Right? Teams with dominant bigs who can, maybe like a team like, I don't know, with Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokic inside, like that could be a game where you lose like 12 offensive rebounds just by virtue of being smaller. But I do think Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren solve a lot of those problems. I do wish that they'd gone for another big though at the deadline. I feel like that was sort of just something that I wish that they had on their bench. And the fact that they wanted to roll it out and say, no, we're going to stick with Jalen Williams and Aaron Wiggins because we don't want to disrupt team chemistry. It's like, yo, it's very obvious to everybody watching this team what's going to be the thing that sinks you in the playoffs. It's size. One of your bigs goes out, you're small, too small to compete. So I don't know. Could be a missed opportunity for them.
They got Daniel Tice and waived him. So they didn't think they needed him
because they knew
they did, and they did that quick too, Mars. They got Daniel Tyson like nope.
9. Like, you're not even a big for him, but
even if he's only 6'9", they got Daniel Tyson. They was like, nope, we good. This isn't
Daniel Tyson is going to go back to the
EuroLeague. I think they'll be
a hell of a EuroLeague.
Their biggest problem for me is their offense. Come playoff time, how do they do without Shea? Defensive rebounding, it's not ideal. Like they're not a good defensive rebounding team, but I highly doubt they lose a series.
I don't think J-Dub is a good enough number 2.
I think that could really be.
You know what?
I don't think J-Dub is a good enough number 2.
You know what player I
not
wish
yet,
was
Jordan.
Okay,
not yet.
That's what I'm saying. This year,
not that they need
it. Be a good enough number 2.
Not that they need it, but a couple players that I wish were on OKC. Number one, buddy over in Detroit who barely plays, Paul Reed. That player, I think he could help. And number 2 was Gershon Yabusele, man. I think instead of going to Philly, I would have been really interesting to see him in OKC. I feel like
but they already have. I mean, I just feel like he would have to play like the 4 for them.
Yabusele would probably be the 5 for them.
No, he's too small.
Now remember who we're talking about too, Penn.
You see who they're playing at 5 right now?
Remember who we're talking about. Yabusele was he was an outcast at that point. Like before the Olympics, like he was out the league. Nobody's really paying any attention to him. He got into the Olympics and he actually looked solid.
Before he got it, did that.
But the Thunder front office didn't watch the Olympics.
And then he gets back in the league on Philly, and now he looks way more competent than he did when he was with the Celtics.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, I mean, I can understand why teams weren't interested initially, but I can see them being more interested now. Yes.
I mean, to Penn's point though, the Thunder they didn't know that Chet was gonna break his damn hip.
Nobody knew that. No.
So you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be looking at Yabusele either. Like Yabusele just, especially from when he first was in the league, he couldn't shoot the ball at all. He was very, very raw talent. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be looking at Yabusele. And I just feel like they need to get a big man. Like they should have known from the jump Chet couldn't be their only big man. And you're gonna back him up with guys like Jalen Williams.
Hartenstein.
Yeah,
for that reason, $81 million.
But you can't just say Hartenstein and Chet is the only ones. You feel like you got to kind of start them together. You need to back up, solidify them. You need somebody to come in that may only play 10 minutes a game and be rough. And who that is, I don't know. Paul Reed could be one, but I don't know, man. I think you need somebody that can give them a solid. You know how remember when the Celtics went to the championship and they had like Kendrick Perkins, they had what's the kid's name? PJ Brown.
The league is different.
They had another one, Leon Poole. You need that.
Kendrick Perkins would not be in the NBA today.
I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't like that conversation because
don't tell him that. No, don't tell him
like
that.
It's like people can adjust, but they didn't have to adjust back then. So it's like we looking at it in hindsight, but whatever. I'm saying you still need that. Like, even the Celtics end up getting Porzingis, Al Horford, Tillman,
Luke
Cornett. Tillman was an underrated as hell pickup.
But you see what I'm saying? Like the Thunder need to get people. Like they need to get bigs like that. They need to stack up on bigs because that's what you're going to initially. Yeah, guard play is a thing, but extra rebounding matters. Like you're going to need extra rebounding. You're going to need extra rim protection. You're going to need extra bodies at bigs because your bigs going to get in foul trouble in the playoffs. It happens every playoffs. The bigs get in foul trouble. You need 3 or 4 of them, and you need somebody.
OKC is like the anti-New York because they actually do a great job of protecting the perimeter so that the big is not always in a terrible position, right?
In the playoffs, it will be though.
But Jordan, to your point, I mean, your rotation gets shorter in the playoffs, so you got guys who are going to play themselves out of the lineup, not because they whack, but because situationally in a series we just can't use you. So a guy
But the bigs, chill. The bigs. I feel like you kind of go out of your rotation to supply the bigs because you want to keep up. If the bigs is like hurting you on the board, you're gonna need a break soon. But you want to put somebody in there that still make it count. And that's
I think Cade in Boston should be playing a lot more than he does, especially in the playoffs.
He probably will in the playoffs though. If they're having an impact on the boards and blocking shots at the rim, you're gonna need somebody that maybe for 5 minutes can come in there and still make it feel like that person is in there. You don't be no breaks at the rim because we make a sub. Like, nah. And that's what I think the Thunder should do because they got enough offense. Well, they supposed to. I don't know if J-Dub is going to be a good number 2 in a playoffs, but they should be okay on offense. My thing is if they can stop everything at the rim with players like Derek Lively and Gafford, now Anthony Davis over there.
He's still 2 more weeks away, so we'll see.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like they need to be able to stop players like that at the rim.
All right, y'all. I got a super chat from Ray B. He sent through a members chat. Ray said, when does sign up close for the PCL tournament? You guys have 48 hours till noon on Thursday and 3 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday to get your applications in, and it will be closing. So if you are planning on participating, you better hurry the hell up, get your application in, and sign up. And by the way, in case you're wondering how to do that, we do have this graphic on social media where you can go scan it and you can go, sign up from there. But scan it right here. This is where you can sign. Use this QR code. Once again, we need a few wild cards. So if you believe you got what it takes to take down Mars, Pirate, Penn, Jordan, whoever else that may be in it, then sign up. All right. Another super chat is coming from Teddy Hart. He responded and he said, I guess it also pissed me off because SGA shot it weird to bait the foul call rather than just focusing on making a shot. Just my opinion.
Fair enough. Yep, fair enough.
Jay Got Game said Dub Knicks, but this season I can't really see the Knicks going to the finals. It wouldn't hurt Tibbs to sprinkle in the Kolick, Blackenstein, and Pacome in the lineup this season so you can get some actual depth for your roster next season.
I mean, he played those guys early on in the season. It's just Tibbs is one of those guys that he doesn't stick with a guy who's not effective immediately. He does not do that. And when you're talking about rotation players, my job is to come in the game and my job is not to hurt us. My job is to keep us where we are and elevate us eventually, not to immediately pull us over the top. No, my job is to keep us where we are. My job is not to kill us. And with Tibbs, if you don't do something immediately with him, you're not going to play long. That's just who he is. He's very much sticking to his 5-6 guys, and that's it.
Kent Lipscomb Jungla said, outside of your favorite team, what is one team you wish could have stayed together? For me, it's the Drew, AD, and Boogie Pelicans.
Oh, man. He broke down.
What did he say?
He ended up
outside of your
down.
favorite team, what's one team that you wish could have stayed together? He said for him, it was the Drew, AD, and Boogie Pelicans.
But they're given
T-Mac in Toronto.
Would they have
Outside
given
of your favorite team, by the way?
Pardon?
He said
outside of your
outside of
favorite
your
team,
favorite
not your?
I looked right past that
Nice.
Of course.
because back then I don't even think the Raptors were my favorite team. The Knicks were my favorite team back then.
I wish Leonard would have stayed in Toronto. I do.
Yeah, that would have been.
I think this one is super easy for me. It's the Amari Stoudemire, Danilo Gallinari,
Pre-Melo Knicks.
Pre-Melo Knicks.
That crew wasn't that far away. That crew was not that far away. They weren't.
That was my squad. That was my team. That was like
they were not that far away.
Yeah, at that point, that was my squad.
Think about this. Think about this. It's the year
Wilson Chandler.
2002. Okay, it's the year 2002. The San Antonio Spurs are being anchored by a generational center prospect. Check. Year 2025, same thing. It's the year 2002, and the Knicks have gone all in on guys who are a little bit past their prime. Check. 2022 still checks out. I feel like teams have like a DNA. Like the organization itself, like you see certain teams, they're almost always going to be built around a wing. You know, some teams are like, they're very guard centric. I think like the Knicks DNA is to go all in before they're ready, to overestimate. You know what I mean? It happened with Derrick Rose and Amari. It happened with Melo, right? It happened with like that entire iteration of Isaiah Thomas. And now just when you think they're really good, they do it again. It's interesting.
They ruined Amari.
They ruined him.
Mm-hmm.
My pick is the Lakers with Russell Westbrook. I really wish they stayed together.
It's funny you mentioned Russell Westbrook.
Good pick, Mars.
Because what if Kevin Durant just all of a sudden doesn't decide to ruin the NBA and he stays with Russell Westbrook to get a championship?
Imagine if the Dallas Mavericks kept Luka, man. Imagine if the Dallas Mavericks kept Luka.
That too, Mars. That too.
That's crazy. I get to say that, and it's like reality that they didn't do that.
Gandhi KV2 said, wait till we get Mitch Robin. Mitch Robin? Back. Please, Jesus Christ. And I need to see Isaiah Stewart in the playoffs.
Y'all crazy with this beating the Pistons, beating the Pistons stuff. I mean, the Pistons beating the Knicks stuff. Y'all crazy,
yo. You would bet the house that the Knicks are going to win it.
So I bet my house, your house, my sister house.
You're not going to bet my house.
My cousin house, my auntie house.
Cade Cunningham going to make me homeless. I don't want you betting my house.
Shit.
Justin, speaking of Cade, said, is Cade Cunningham a top 15 player? After the last debate on Cade, will you apologize to my GOAT Cade?
Question.
My GOAT Cade.
Where was it is March. It's March of 2024. Where is Cade amongst the pantheon of players? It's
March of 2024.
It's 2024 March. Where is Cade amongst the pantheon of players in the NBA?
He's a top 50 player a year ago.
Well, I was biased because I had,
maybe
I didn't see Cade up live in person, so I was biased.
Okay, so you seen him live. Where was he? Okay, so he was. You think he was a top 25 player?
I said 50. Last year, this time 50,
25.
maybe 25.
I'd say 50. I'd say top 50. Top 50 sounds about right.
But Jordan, what is it about seeing him up close and personal that makes you biased about where to rank him? What did he show you? What did he show you in the time with him that put him there for you?
Number one,
is it a friend? Is it like a friend? Like that's my partner type thing?
No.
Okay.
Nah, because that ain't my partner. But
okay.
Number one, what he showed me in high school, he translated to college, and it was good as hell. So then, when I see him translating, when I see him go from college to the NBA, and I see like, he got hurt, and then I see like, this about to be the same player he was in college. Just give him some time. He gonna transcend there. So I'm quite just not surprised that he is who he is, because it's like this is who he's been his whole life. So it's like I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I've been biased, because I've seen him bust NBA players' ass even before he got to college. So I seen him do it. I knew it was just a matter of figuring out the game for him. I knew it wasn't no fluke for him. Like some of these guys, it's kind of like whatever. You kind of open. No, it ain't been no fluke for him. He been doing this. So
I think the
So,
best
Jordan, let me
case
ask you this question.
scenario
So,
is probably bigger Jalen Brunson. Is that fair? A bigger Jalen Brunson. Is that kind of fair? That's kind of what I see him as, with a
I don't know
little
if I
bit
hate
more defensive upside. I don't know,
I
man.
don't know if
Like
I hate that,
like
but-
y'all got to remember where we were last year at this time. People forget real soon.
That's what I'm talking about.
The
This is what I'm
Pistons were the
talking
worst team in basketball. They were in arguments. There were videos being made every single day last January, February.
Maybe
Are
in
they the
history.
worst team of all time? Okay, and he was the best
History.
player on that team. So honestly, I see a lot of these offseason top player rankings. He was consistently outside the top 50, 60. Consistently.
I mean,
consistently.
but they had a lot of turnovers.
So,
But he averaged like 23 and 7 last year. So
Okay,
So that's
but
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying, Jordan.
turnovers,
So
and you said he was
you-
nice to tell in college. I don't think he was
He
nice
was.
to tell in college.
what?
No.
How do you
I thought
think he
was good
became
at-
that? How you think he became
I
number
think he
one
was
pick?
awesome at
Ben?
Oklahoma City. I mean, at Oklahoma State. But
Ben,
Jordan,
how
I
did
want
they
to
pick him number one?
Because of the
I mean,
reputation, because there was context around his college career that he was at a really, really bad, he was on a really bad team. That's why he wasn't super efficient, and that's why he turned the ball over a lot. But
The kid-
Jordan,
I saw a lot of his
Jordan,
games in college.
Jordan, I agree with you. The highlights and the moments and the quarters are nice, but you're not telling me that a player who projects to play point guard having a borderline negative or even assist to turnover ratio is ever going to be considered dominant, right?
I didn't say he was.
If you average
dominant.
more turnovers than assists, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it was borderline even.
He
It was like
averaged more
4-4
turnovers than
or
assists.
5-5. It was
You
close.
talking about in college?
assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah.
But Jordan,
In
I'm
college?
but Jordan,
Go ahead,
I'm
Ben.
because again, Jordan, you said you thought he was top 25, and you were basing that on what you've seen in high school and what you've seen coming into the NBA. So again, March of 2024, I'm gonna run down some names for you, and you tell me yes or no. Shea,
No, of course not.
Oh,
Joker.
damn.
What's the question?
Bro,
I'm gonna run down.
he
I'm gonna run.
averaged
25.
more turnovers
He
than
averaged
assists.
more turnovers than 3.5 assists. Yep, I just looked at
What in college?
Yep.
Yeah.
But Penn,
I'm
that's not and this is why you have to scout the players, because that's not
Yeah,
an
What I did
indicator.
is scout the players. I've
No,
been watching this guy
no,
since
this is
high
what I'm
school.
saying. No,
I watched
here's
a
what I'm
lot of his
saying. Like,
games in college.
obviously, players have their flaws, but you also too. This is why scouts are that. This is why scouts are so.
Okay.
This is why they are good at what they are.
Let me.
Can I finish my statement?
Go ahead.
This is why scouts are good at what they do, because you have to understand that a 17, 18, 19-year-old player will have flaws. You have to understand that it is a transition. I don't care if you are at Montverde. I don't care if you're at IMG. I don't care if you're at Oak Hill. It's a transition, OTE, whatever the case may be. It's a transition going from playing against high school players to playing against, especially
College
nowadays, where you have four-year seniors, 5-year seniors,
No.
6-year seniors. So it is a transition from playing against a Division I program to playing against a high school team and playing against AAU. So it is different. On top of that, too, Cade Cunningham went to Oklahoma State. At Oklahoma State, he was clearly the top dog there.
No, and
Most players are. What are we doing here, Ron?
No, I'm about to give you
Grant
the
Hill wasn't the
difference.
top guy at Duke.
Yes, but he was at Duke. That's the point I'm trying to make. He's playing with 5 other 5-star prospects. Cade Cunningham was playing with 2 stars, 3 stars. It's a difference when you are the focal point of the offense.
Okay.
We can hone in on you. You know
Absolutely.
that's the case. So what
Of
I'm trying to
course I
say
know
is,
that.
in college, when you're playing at Oklahoma State, you're a 5-star prospect, and the team
Okay.
gets to hone in on you. It's a little different. So
Yeah.
as
In
opposed
the
to
Big
Cooper
12.
Flag
In
playing
the
with
Big 12.
Conca Nipple and
This is
playing with
big
all
time
these
league.
other 5-star
At
prospects.
that time, sure.
Let's pluck Cooper Flag from Duke and let's put him on Maine. What does he look like on Maine? Yes, he's gonna dominate.
Oh,
Yes,
he cooking
it's,
him, man.
no, he's cooking,
have a
but
lot
it's gonna
more
look a little
He's a
different.
much
And
better
as a matter of
defender,
fact,
and
no,
he's a
let's
much
put him
better
at.
I was just saying level of competition wise, Ron.
Yeah,
That's all.
okay. So let's put him on a Power 5 team. Let's put him at Vanderbilt. He's going to cook, but it's
He's
gonna look
better.
a little different. He's gonna
He's
have more.
way
He's
better.
gonna have more.
Why would he be better?
He is way better. He's a better
He's gonna
athlete.
look
He's
good,
a
but
bigger
he's
I'm
gonna
saying
athlete.
he's better than Cade.
Oh, better than Cade. Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
he's
I'm
still
not-
gonna look flawed.
Yo, Cade averaged 20 in college, bro. You know how hard that is to do for a guard.
It is
Bro, he
not
averaged
easy to
20
average 20 a game.
Bro,
It is
in the
not
Big
easy to
12, he
average
averaged
20 a
20. He
game.
shot 40 from 3 too. What are we talking about?
I want to get back to the
Very
super
low
chat that
volume.
dude talked about him
He shot
being
like
a
5
top
threes a
15
game.
player. And Jordan just told me that
That's not high
last season, Jordan said that he thought he was top
In
25.
college, 5, 6
So I'm gonna-
threes a game is in high volume.
Yes, it is. 100% it is.
That's a
Hell
lot
yes.
of shots.
Hell yeah. 5 threes? Yes, that's a lot of
20 a
that's
game is
I
a
know
lot.
for a
Big house.
fact he led his team in threes
100%.
attempted and made. For a fact, he definitely led his team in
He
threes.
led his team in a lot of things. He went there because of his brother. But what I'm saying is, you're not going to say you could say there's context around why his college stats are not dominant. But let me ask you two
His
questions.
college stats is pretty good. 20 a game is pretty
Oh
damn
my
good.
God, Jordan.
9 threes per 100 is not moving.
9 threes per
I think y'all
100.
forget how big the Big 12 was back in that time too. Big 12 was
the
big.
Big
ass
12 was
conference.
when you talking about
It still
first,
is.
when you're talking
Yeah.
about first overall picks, especially ones who are talked about the way that Cade is. First of all, I think it'd be worth reminding you he was not the number one player in his class. Going into
Jalen
that
Green
class, it was
was.
Jalen
it was
Green.
Jalen Green. Yeah.
So
yeah,
number one, it was that. It was largely the fall off that Jalen Green experienced of the G League Ignite that catapulted Cade into that conversation. Jalen Green was not great at the G League Ignite, Mars.
Pen, you got it. You got it reversed. It was
Jalen
the
Green was
play
really
of
good in
Cade
the G.
Cunningham. It was a
He
play
was
of
solid
Cade.
in the
Jalen Green was
Cunningham.
really good in the G.
Cade Cunningham hit
He
a
was
lot
not.
of big time shots too when he was in Oklahoma State. That was a lot of his buzz coming from him.
There
having
was
the
still
ability to make
a
big shots.
debate. According to the Pistons, there was still a debate going into draft, going into like the weeks leading into the draft, who they were going to pick at number one. That was actually a mystery for at least a little while. So there was a discussion between these two players, and there had been a discussion leading up to that. So it wasn't the clear separator that Cooper Flagg is definitively the number one guy. Wemby is definitively the number one guy. Shaq, C. Webb, etc. It's not like that. There was no debate with those guys. There was debate here. Okay, number one, I'll say that. Number two, you say he was dominant in college. I have a challenge for you, Jordan. Name me one guard in NBA history that went number one overall that averaged more turnovers than assists in college. And I don't care what context you're talking about.
But it's not about that. Yes, the context matters because he didn't play on a team with not one NBA player. He didn't play on it. He also, their team went 21-9. Pen. They went 21-9.
That doesn't make you average a
Yes,
negative
it does.
assist to turnover ratio.
Pen.
There are guards
Pen.
in the
Pen.
there are guards in
Pen.
college
Oklahoma
basketball.
State. Okay, who
Would you say he's still turnover
State
prone?
was not a good. Oklahoma State was not a good. Oklahoma State was not a good team when Juwan Evans was there, right?
Sure.
Juwan Evans was there and went crazy. He got drafted. They wasn't 21-9 though. Cade Cunningham take Oklahoma State from trash to good. They go 21-9. He gets drafted number one because he averaged 20. And he hit big time shots for his team to even do that. It was a race for them to even get to the tournament, and he was trying his hardest, like making
How many
game winners.
players can average 20? How many players can average 20 in Division I basketball for playing in the Big 12?
Not a lot.
Big East.
Damn sure in the Big 12, not a lot. Damn sure not a lot in the Big 12. Big 12 was a tough conference back then.
Yeah, and
Very
okay,
tough.
okay. So here's my question for you. You see a lot of freshmen, they struggle in Kentucky to put up big numbers, right? Because they're playing on loaded rosters. So you see a guy like Shea, he didn't average 20. Would Shea Gilgeous-Alexander have potentially averaged 18 to 20 if he was on a team with very little help and he had to take more shots?
Possibly not, though.
Possibly though.
Not,
Hold on.
though.
Gary Trent Jr. over in Duke. That dude was a certified bucket coming in, right? He was a 5-star recruit. Gary Trent was a 5-star recruit. But he went to Duke and he struggled. He struggled to, and he slipped in the draft a little bit. There's a lot of guys who sacrificed their offense.
Light years better than Gary Trent.
Oh, I agree with you. He's light years better than Gary Trent.
But I'm
not comparing.
He the competition Cade was playing, getting doubled he's getting doubled because he's the only guy on his team
he's also getting okay, first of all, a lot of great players in college basketball get doubled, Jordan. You know this.
Yes, but they on
Cooper's
teams
getting
with
doubled.
somebody else.
Dylan Harper's getting doubled. Okay,
you're right, but they on teams with other players that's in the NBA. He's not on a team with nobody in the NBA getting doubled. Of course, he's gonna have more turnovers.
Okay, I'll ask you a question. Do you think Cade Cunningham is a better college player than Dylan Harper right now? Dylan Harper versus Cade Cunningham.
If you gave Cade Cunningham Ace Bailey, hell yeah. If you gave him Ace Bailey, why not?
Forget about Ace Bailey. I'm talking about them as individual players. Do you think? Okay,
as individual players, yes, I think Cade Cunningham is better than Dylan Harper.
I throw, wow. Okay, cool. Okay, so great.
Why
Cade's
not?
amazing.
Wait, what's the argument?
I'm about to get back to the super chat. Chill, I know you wanted to do this. Chill, I'm gonna jump you though, Chill.
To answer the question, no, I will not apologize to your goat.
I'm gonna jump you though, Chill, and I'm just gonna go to our midseason rankings from last year. This is where we had Cade Cunningham. As you can see, says midseason right there, 2023, 2024.
Nah, look at Embiid, man. Where he
The
belongs.
league has
We're gonna keep
changed.
going until we find Cade Cunningham. Look at my.
I don't think
Tyrese,
Cade was on the list. I don't
14.
know.
Yeah, I'm taking one person off already. I
Where
already know.
is Scottie Barnes?
Ain't no way in hell.
And
Scottie
I'm
Barnes
gonna
is.
show you guys.
He
some
was an
progressions,
all-star.
Good
Go
for him.
crazy. Jamal Murray.
He's not an all-star this year, and you had him top 15. So.
There
Okay.
goes Scottie,
Scottie.
39.
Y'all ain't
Follow
had Cade in the
38.
50.
Gross.
All
He
right,
had 44.
here's Cade right here.
Oh,
Cade
top
was
50. I told
44.
you. Top 50.
He was
I
44.
said top
And do y'all
50.
remember this?
I agree.
At 50?
Top 50.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Lil Ox
But-
Nas, that's crazy. Lil
I'm-
Ox Nas is crazy.
What's the worst?
I'm-
What's the one that aged the worst? I'm looking at Jeremy Grant at 45, and I'm like, holy crap.
It's a lot of
Embiid
players
at
Cade
2
Cunningham
also.
better than on that
Joel
list. by the
Embiid
way.
at 2 was entirely valid based on what was happening last year. We're not about to have revisionist history.
And so do you
Nobody
guys remember
put
we
Cade
did
in the
this?
video under 25 too.
Do
Crazy.
you guys remember we did this? And I don't remember exactly when we did it. I think it was the off season or right
Ron,
before
you
the
digging
season.
up receipts?
So
Are these
right
receipts?
before the season. Well, I'm doing this to showcase.
Oh, this was
progression.
preseason. Yeah, this is
preseason. So we did our best 25 under 25. Let's see where Cade falls on this list, and I guess Scottie too.
Well, maybe not preseason. It was when Bleacher Report came out
Hey,
with that list.
nice.
But I
So
remember,
Scottie's at 7.
Penn was doing Cade bad. I remember Penn
LaMelo
doing
at
Cade
10
bad.
is disgusting, but LaMelo at 10 and Cade was at 13.
Crazy
So
as hell.
So to answer your question on the super chat, we
Hold on,
did
hold
not
on,
have
hold
him
on,
top
Ron.
15. But
How is Cade in front of him, in front of Halliburton now, but he wasn't in front of him on the top 50 list?
Because one was a year ago and one was like
this
4 months
this
ago.
is
Oh,
before
okay. I
the
thought it was
season.
the same year. I thought it was the same year. Okay.
Also, you got to remember too, Jordan. You never know exactly who was,
And you
on
don't know
that
who
Xbox.
picks
Cade
who, 'cause this
finished
is a
last year
community.
strong.
Like there could have
Yeah.
been 3 different people with us
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, because I know, like looking at this list, I know I vehemently disagreed with Paolo.
And so-
I know Ox was with me because we both had Franz above Paolo. So I know like
Right.
Paolo ended up above him. So
This
But
was
yeah.
the top 75 players. Well, top 25. We
Yo,
forget
Paolo-
everything after
Paolo's
25. But
having
this
a
is our
season
top
from hell.
25 players that we just dropped when we were in San Francisco a couple weeks ago. And Cade actually is 17. So no,
He
he's
is.
not quite top 15.
Ahead of Franz.
No,
He's
we
not
said top 25.
Yeah, well, he's 17.
Hey, there it is then. I seen a vision.
Well, he
And
had
I'm
him at
probably
17.
responsible for him getting right there, too.
I've been high on Cade for a while, but you know,
I
it's
wanted
just
the
like-
Rockets to pick Cade.
I wanted, if I remember correctly, Jalen Green was my favorite prospect in the class, but I thought Evan Mobley was the best player in the draft.
I
So,
wanted to
I
pick
did too.
Cade.
That's what I thought.
I think
wanted Cade.
my top 3 was Evan Mobley 1, Cade 2, Jalen Green 3. I think that was
My
top
my favorites
Mine
were
was
Scottie and
Evan
Evan
Mobley
Mobley.
won, and that was it.
I was on Scottie.
I mean,
and
mine was
Jalen
Cade
Green.
Cunningham, and that was
So
it. That was it. I ain't had no
I
Evan
had
Mobley.
Scottie in that one with Jalen and then Scottie in that one.
Yeah,
Nope, I ain't
Jalen was my favorite prospect, but I thought Evan Mobley was going to be like some special.
I
so
also thought
It's
that
been a good draft or a good class.
it's been a
I
great
also thought
class.
that Scottie Barnes. I also thought that Scottie Barnes, coming out of college, I thought he was very, very raw, but I knew he would turn into something. I just thought he was just very, very raw. Normally his skill set, it gives you a lot of excitement, but then you never really see players with that raw of a skill set turn into a superstar. So I'm still kind of on the fence.
I think-
if he will or if
I
he
think
won't. I'm
most
leaning
people-
towards that he won't, though. By the way, I think that he
Now, the trigger word here is what Jordan said. Very rarely. That doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It's just
Yeah,
very
it's very
rarely.
Did you watch what he did to Kevin Durant the other day?
I mean,
he played good defense. Yeah, he played good defense.
yeah. I mean,
It's not good. It was great. And I mean,
but
you know,
Penn, to
it's
your
just like
point,
the
I know
number of
you're gonna
times
bring
he's
it
able
up.
to do that. It's
Yeah,
not-
but Penn, I know you're gonna bring it up and you're gonna say, that's gonna be that's gonna struck a nerve inside of you. But
No, it doesn't strike a nerve.
it's like you're seeing him do that on a bad team, and that's what I think he's going
It's
to keep doing
harder
that on
to
a bad.
stop superstars when you're on a bad
I
team.
agree, but when Cade's in college, no.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
You're right. But what I'm saying is this though. I'm saying
He made the same 5 minutes later, but when it's Scottie Barnes, apparently it's
No,
valid.
we're not talking about defense. with Cade.
But hold on though, Penn. This is what I'm saying about Cade Cunningham. I mean, not Cade Cunningham, Scottie Barnes. Like, yes, he's doing that on a bad team. You like, look, he got 30. He did this to this person. But it's like, yeah, they also would lose these games, and they're gonna keep losing these games, and eventually the franchise will just get a player better than Scottie Barnes. Scottie
just
Barnes would be
did.
a good number 2. They got Brandon Ingram, yeah, exactly. But Scottie Barnes is a good number 2, very good, solid piece. But
Nasty.
rarely do you see a player with his skill set become a star, and that's okay.
Look,
he can be a really good number 2, though.
We talk about it with Jason Tatum, right? It's like when I listen to Kevin Durant and he says, "What is the best player in the league?" He basically defined a player like Jason Tatum or Scottie Barnes.
No, Scottie Barnes don't have much natural talent. He has a lot of like
he doesn't have what
like
you
tone
teach.
where he doesn't have a lot of natural.
He doesn't have a lot of bag according to you. But I mean, I don't want to draw into a hour
he's
debate.
not naturally a good natural shooter. He's a natural athlete, not a natural shooter. He's not a good.
Sure,
like he's not a good natural ball handler.
He's a very gifted passer. He is an exceptionally
by
gifted
learning the
defender.
game. Doesn't have a lot of natural IQ though. By learning the game, he doesn't have a lot of natural IQ.
Okay, we
not
will definitely
like
disagree
guys.
on that.
I mean,
Nevertheless, my point is simple. Like, when you look at a Jaylen Brown and he's cooking, he looks better than when a Jason Tatum's cooking, right? But when you take whole totality, I mean, we've had this debate for a long time between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And the truth is, when you measure only on offense, you can make a case that it's close. When you start taking the whole totality of them as rebounders, them as playmakers,
a natural defender, I give you that.
Them as defenders, their versatility. I mean, last year when KP went out, who was there guarding the paint? Jason Tatum. And if Drew Holiday got into foul trouble, Jason Tatum would probably pick up some of that slack too. So he just that utility is very, very valuable in a great player. And I don't know, like some people have that kind of LeBron mindset about what the best player is, the guy who can play 5 positions, guard 5 positions, do everything, be whatever, like a chameleon, right? Like LeBron can be a facilitator for you. He could be a secondary connector for you. He could be a primary, hub for you. He could score 50 points for you. He could do everything. So I just prefer that player archetype as a general star overall.
I mean,
and I'm not, I wasn't challenging your point like I'm bugging out. I just saw something that's blowing my mind right now. And it's not on the topic of. So what the 76ers want to do, Joel Embiid is going to undergo meniscus surgery procedure where the doctors break a bone in his hip to realign the joint and elevate the pressure.
Well, it's either one. It's either or. It's either or. Chills. They're either gonna do a meniscus replacement type situation, or they're gonna do something to break a bone in his hip to align.
What Lonzo had?
I'm not sure, but they're either gonna do that or they're gonna break a bone in his hip to align the joint to alleviate pressure.
I don't want to break nothing else on this dude. Hell no.
How about just break the fat up on his body so he can
break nothing else on him?
I'm not a doctor, but this kind of makes sense. No,
how about do that? Because he comes.
I mean, it got to make sense to them. Pin, or they wouldn't do it. Like I can't fat.
I agree with George.
Give him a
because
that's
give
him a fat transfer. That's all he need. He need a fat transfer.
I don't want to break nothing else on this dude, but let's get back to
BBL Joey.
Oh man,
nightmare.
So that's what they was. So sometimes if it's not so I get what you're saying, though, Penny. It makes sense though, because sometimes if it's not a line straight, you get that right here on your knee or right here on your knee, and it's just grinding like this or like this instead of straight up and down like it's supposed to be. So it makes sense. I mean, it just sounds crazy. And on that, they said that's a radical, which obviously it sounds radical to us. So
I don't want to break anything else.
What would be the recovery time on that? Like a full year?
Man, check this.
I mean, a meniscus replacement took Lonzo a
2 years.
To get back.
Yeah,
2 years.
Yo, Joel out for anything longer than 6 months. Anything longer than 4 months.
Now am I hating? I just want to know, am I hating now when I was saying this at the beginning of the year?
You was hating for talking about get the fat off. That was hate.
I'm not even talking about the meniscus surgery. They got to break a bone in his hip. That has to heal too.
Well, they don't got to do both. It's either one. It's either or is what they're saying.
Okay,
right?
But listen to this. If this man, why is he having all these meniscus and knee problems and things like that? I would like to think it's because a lot of times he comes into the offseason fat. He comes in out of shape. He has a herky-jerky game.
He on that Luka diet, you think? Is he on that Luka diet?
No, I don't know if he on that Luka diet or not. But
but he literally came into this season the lightest he's been since like 2018.
And 2 years ago, he had
Finally,
and 2
Finally,
years
the
ago,
damage
And
is done.
and this is
And
the
the
year that
damage is
his body
already
was-
done.
and I
The
think the year
damage
he won
is done.
the league he won, the year he won the league MVP, he was 20 pounds lighter when he came into camp.
About time.
We just we like we
The
just,
damage
like,
is done.
So
I think
It's
it's just the
already
way he
done.
moves, man.
the
Like,
damage
it's-
was done when he just chose to get a meniscus
And-
surgery to
and
play in 20
20
the playoffs instead of resting.
And
That's the problem.
and 20 pounds lighter
was
too. Like
crazy.
maybe he need to be 40 pounds lighter. Maybe he need to lose a lot of weight.
Maybe we need to be
for
realistic
the way
about
he
these
moves.
bodies. Yeah, maybe we need to be realistic. Asking a 7'1" individual to go from 280 to 240 is unrealistic.
that's not realistic, yo. It's not.
I
That's just
mean,
not
all right,
realistic.
well,
So, but
Joel
anyway,
Embiid put
yeah.
the NBA is not realistic.
Look,
Then let's
Jo-
get
Joel-
that.
I'm,
Joel-
that
I'm
ain't
pretty
realistic.
sure. I'm pretty sure we've seen the last of prime Joel Embiid. I'm pretty sure. That's
There's
all I'm-
nothing
Yeah,
more-
so it ain't
Mars, we
realistic.
might have seen
There's
we might have
nothing-
seen the rest of him. Like
Yeah,
these,
nothing
these
realistic about him playing
these
NBA.
sound like some radical things. And mind you, y'all know, like I've been critical about Joel Embiid and certain things, but this whole time I've been saying he needs to sit out. He doesn't need to try to come back. So I'm not saying this from a place of hate or whatever we want to call it. I'm just saying like this is serious shit. They're talking about breaking this dude's hip. You know what I'm saying? So he can
And
get his
too damn
legs
big
straight.
for his
Like
hip to be
this is
broken.
crazy, bro. Like I'm.
Uh,
Man, you got to. He got kids. You got to think about your future, Joel. You already got the bread, bro. Like
he's gonna
you could
spend a lot
really
of
just,
time
you
with
could,
them.
re- you
Mox,
could, re- you,
is
you
it
could, but I'm
time-
saying though, but Pin, after this type of shit, like you want to play with your grandkids. You know what I'm saying? You want to run around with your kids
All
and
right.
stuff, bro.
All right,
Like,
Mars,
you
look
can't-
at
you
this
can't
picture
keep
right
doing this
here.
to your
Mars,
body,
right
bro.
quick, like
Jordan.
he in good shape.
Right quick, Jordan. Speaking of bread, this is the money that Joel Embiid has been getting and will get. 55.2 million for next season, fully guaranteed.
Ron, do it look like he's in good shape?
59.5 million for the 26-27 season, fully guaranteed. 64.3 million for the 27-28 season, fully guaranteed. Goddamn. 69.1. It don't get no nastier than 69 for the 28-29 season, fully guaranteed. Joel is owed $248.1 million over the
God
next 4 seasons,
damn.
fully guaranteed.
Man, this
I
shit hurt
think-
this shit hurt my heart.
He, bro,
Just gonna
I'm
zoom this
talking
in right
about.
there. Sorry,
talking about
Maxie, that
spit
you
out
gotta
the-
be in this picture. God damn.
That's crazy. Man.
God damn.
That's a lot of M's in that picture.
Nah, but the thing with it though with Joel, it's kind of like he could sit the rest of this one out. You know, get the surgery, sit this one out, sit all the next year out, and be hold on, Jordan, hold on, and just be a viable big man for a team somewhere. Like maybe the superstar days in him might be over, but you know, if he wants to keep playing basketball, which I don't know, if he wants to keep going at it. I mean, shit, take your time. You getting all this money. You got a 4-year contract, bro. Sit down. You and Paul George is never gonna happen because you ain't coming back in time for him. Y'all just go ahead and sit it down.
Alex, at what point is it time to check his damn birth certificate?
No, don't do this.
Jordan,
At
I
what
told
point?
you, I told you already. I told you already what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we don't
Please,
want
no
Penn.
more,
We don't
no
want
more,
Penn.
no
We don't
more
want Penn.
birther conspiracies.
We don't want
No
Penn. We don't
conspiracy.
Penn to sit because we speaking the truth. We know what's going on, but
Ain't
you
no
know
more
what I'm
just like Serge Ibaka. All of a sudden, he pissed off. Somebody think he his real age. Serge Ibaka, they think he want to act like he's so mad that they doing this. What are y'all doing, man? Nigga, you're 40. We know it. The gig is up. The jig is up, Serge. It's up.
All right, so I gotta get back to these super chats. We got a few of them. You already know what time it is. Like the video, subscribe to Player's Choice, and become a member. Also, shout out to our Hall of Famers. I got my man Cobra Son of Raditz, Multi Kenny, J Hub, Vale, Cheese, and 40 Cal. Also is our newest member. Shout out my man 40 Cal. You guys do know Fridays are Hall of Fame Fridays. You guys always have the opportunity to come up on Friday and get off whatever hot take you need to get off. Also, too, if you are a Hall of Famer, catch us on Playback. We'd love to bring you guys up. All right, y'all. In the biggest announcement of the day, bigger than us doing Playback, bigger than PCL, bigger than everything else. From the Logo is back, and they will be on at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Y'all be sure to tune in to Gifted, Hayes, ZZ, and they got another special panelist too. So y'all go check out who's the fourth panelist on From the Logo and just tap in all together. Salute to From the Logo. Justin sent through a super chat and said Knicks lose first round to the Pistons when Cade adopts Brunson like he did at the MSG. Adopt like make him his son?
I assume so.
Oh man.
Wow. DSG Piccolo said Keontae George turns the magnets on in that last minute. Almost gave me a heart attack. But year 2 Klingon will be very impactful. Got to lose weight and get more discipline. Fouls way too much.
Most
young bigs do.
I do agree.
Keontae packed up my team too. So yeah.
Boom Works Out sent through an off-topic super chat, but he said choose one. A house built by Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic. That's A. B. Own all of Batman's vehicles. C. Immune to all diseases and sickness. Or D. Own all fast food chains. Or E. Family protected by Justice League.
I ain't gonna lie. Having a Batmobile might be crazy.
So you're telling me I can be a Magic Johnson timing without consequence?
I was just about to say, Ox, you a freaky. Y'all some freaky man.
I wasn't even talking like that though.
You can be a Magic Johnson timing with no consequence.
I'm gonna own all
any disease, bro. I'm healthy. I'm just, you know what I'm saying. I value health. I value health over wealth and everything. Y'all said I can't get sick.
I'm on that. Y'all some freaky man, boy. Y'all.
I just asked a question.
No, that's crazy.
Okay. Jordan, what are you doing?
Like that.
I'm getting all Batman vehicles, boy, because I can steal anything and just drive off. Boy, who's gonna catch me?
You can buy Batman's vehicles, all the insurance you need.
You can't.
You can buy
you can't buy health, Pin. That's what you can't buy.
It don't matter. You can be the healthiest person you can.
I guarantee. I know which one Joel Embiid would.
Listen. I can do anything and get in my Batmobile, and who gonna catch me?
Okay.
See, but that's because you know what that is, because y'all don't think y'all dope enough. Y'all want to have all these gadgets and extra shit because y'all don't think y'all dope enough. You know what I'm saying? All I need is health, and I can rock. See, y'all gotta.
I can rock too. I don't want to rock forever. I don't want to rock forever.
The best answer to this is I would own all the fast food chains because number one, I would be crazy rich, and number two, I could make America healthy.
I don't want to do that. I want to ride around in Batman.
You ain't never gonna make America healthy. All of America ain't gonna be healthy.
Hey, if I own every fast food chain, what are you gonna do? If I make all the burgers in America healthy?
Okay, cool.
You ain't gonna make no more money. That's just the way it's set up. It's either gonna be cheaper or healthy. You ain't gonna make no more money, and all that money you talk about gonna be going out the window.
Ox,
Pin.
You don't mess up your own blessing.
Pin, this what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up in my Batmobile.
Trying to save the world.
I'm gonna stick the place up. Give me everything out the place. I'm gonna get in my car and I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna do it again tomorrow. Y'all better be ready. I'm gonna go do it in another.
Batmobile is barely worth 2 McDonald's franchises, Jordan. I don't think you've seen the big picture here.
How much is a Batmobile, Pin?
I don't know, like $1 million.
You don't. No, it ain't no million. You can't put a price on that, brother. That thing go. That thing is gone.
I'm with Penn. I'm owning all the franchises, and I'm living a good lifestyle.
Hey, whatever. I'm living.
He didn't say all the franchises. He said all the fast food chains. So you own the damn chain.
You a trillionaire, yo.
You're the richest person in the world.
I'm Ron. Y'all can have that. I want to live on the edge. I want to get in my Batmobile with my black forces on, all black.
Jordan.
Y'all know what time it is when I pull up. And if there's too many people outside, I'm gonna go somewhere else in like 10 minutes. I'm gonna be in Australia in 10 minutes.
Google the top 10 richest people in the world. They all got Batmobiles, bro. And you be on the number one on that list. You would be number one on that list.
I'm for sure gonna be on my Bruce Wayne. No if and or.
Bro, you could hire. You know what you could do with all the fast food chain? You could hire every actor who's ever played Batman and literally have them scrub your toilets. Okay,
I'm not talking about the actor. I want the cartoon Batmobile. I want that.
That's what y'all want money for. Y'all toilets. But what is wrong with y'all?
Yo, trillionaires are weird. Okay, Maybe a trillionaire.
y'all
Maybe
need
a
to get
trillionaire
your
wants to
shit
drop a
together,
couple of million to watch Val Kilmer clean the
Nah,
toilet.
Pin,
I
you
don't
need
know.
to get your
Ken,
shit
do
together,
you know the
dog. You trying to take
capabilities?
advantage?
Ian, do you know the capabilities of the
Y'all
Batmobile?
niggas are crazy, but
I don't know why you so Jordan. I don't know why you so caught up
I got
on
more
this.
super chats I gotta get to. I'm not finished.
Ah,
I'm not
Talking
finna
about
be
Joe
here
Burrow
till,
bought a Batmobile. No, he didn't. He ain't buy that one.
I'm not finna be here till 2:45 because we debating Batmobiles and toilets. But salute to
man,
all
y'all
the
need
choices
to love
that everybody
yourself,
made.
man. Health is wealth.
Drink more water said, I remember Penn. Hold on, wait. I remember Penn saying, why do we focus on a few negatives and focus on all the positives when defending Jokic defensive? When defending Jokic defensive, but constantly harps on Cade's assist to turnover ratio and nothing else he did great.
Well, here's the thing, drink more water. When you're emotional, you miss information that comes flying into your ears and just goes out the other. You have a narrative that I'm just here to hate Cade. So you're going to miss me saying that. I don't think there's anybody on this panel who started talking about him for all NBA before I did. I congratulated him initially when I said he'll be an all-star by default. I corrected that to be like, he deserves to be an all-star. I said earlier that I think the Pistons actually have a chance against the Knicks, that they're underrated. So I do say good things. I just don't think he's as good as some of y'all think he is. And no, me thinking Cade Cunningham is not Luka Doncic level superstar does not mean hating. Just like Jordan saying, Scottie Barnes may not turn into a superstar is not hating. You don't see me up here crying because y'all don't think Scottie's a superstar. It doesn't matter. You can have an opinion about a player. Okay. I personally think Franz Wagner is better than Cade. If you consider that hating, that's your problem.
Masenko said Joel Embiid just needs to be talked about and viewed with the Grant Hills and B. Roy's at this point. Dub panel.
Yeah, he's a what if at this point. The man couldn't stay healthy. It is what it is. It's one of the most talented players I've ever seen just couldn't stay healthy. That's the reality of the situation.
Context Clue sent through a members chat and said, they have been shooting and beat up with drugs to play this season, but nobody's talking about it. They need to.
What happened?
Oh no.
We okay? We good?
Am I good?
Are you playing musical? Are you playing musical?
Yeah, I thought that was mine. I was
I
tripping.
thought that was me too.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't. It was none of us. Good work. But yeah, I spoke about it on my pod with John D. We spoke about the Sixers, what I view as malpractice with how they've handled this Joel Embiid situation. And now hearing the reports of what surgeries they're talking about, there's no way this man should have been playing basketball this season. There's just no way. Like, you're watching him play, you could see he shouldn't have been out there. Every interview, Joel Embiid is trying to tell them, I think I'm not going to be right unless I get a surgery. I'm very clearly not right. Nick Nurse saying it, Tyrese Maxey saying it, Paul George is saying it. The whole roster apparently is saying the same thing, that this man isn't healthy, shouldn't be playing. And yet he kept playing. So I don't know what the Sixers got going on, but they need to be investigated for something because that's ridiculous what they've been doing.
So is this turning into another Kawhi situation in with San Antonio, where he thinks one thing and the team doctors think another thing? Because if he's this injured, and by the way, he was saying this in preseason, I'm never going to play back-to-backs. He said that, right? So
They get their money back.
I don't think there's no refund on this one, Jordan.
I'm saying
What are they, so Jordan? I mean,
they get their money back
Mars,
from the league.
If they could just waive him right now with no consequence, I think they would. That's how bad this is.
Yeah.
If you're staring at,
but Mars, are you saying you think that they're forcing him to play?
I'm saying I think they're doing things that aren't in Joel Embiid's best interest, and I couldn't tell you the reasons why. But if Joel
I can
Embiid,
tell you why, Mars.
well, I mean, I can assume.
Was that 60
I'd
mil?
assume it's because of ticket sales.
Yeah, 60
I'd
mil.
assume it's
I
because
would
they're trying to.
assume it's because
I'd assume it's because they're trying to recoup value of a guarantee
55
contract they're giving him.
That's
Yeah,
what I would assume.
they're trying to recoup value of a guarantee contract.
No,
I'd
it's
assume,
because he ain't
but
doing
I
things
can't.
in the
I can't
interest of the
confirm that, and
76ers.
I'm saying that with no evidence to prove it, which is why I'm not going to guess. But this is a Sixers team that, beyond Joel Embiid, Eric Gordon has had a wrist injury for God knows how long. And Nick Nurse most recently was saying he's gone to 2 specialists and we can't figure out the problem. Andre Drummond has been dealing with an injury on and off all season, a foot injury that probably shouldn't be as severe as it has been. They've been dealing with a lot of injuries just as a franchise for years. that most other franchises probably don't deal with. I don't know what their medical staff has going on, but I think there's something wrong, in my opinion. I think there's something wrong.
Well, I mean, you can't. A medical staff can't prevent somebody from getting injured.
Yeah, they
They
can.
can't.
Yeah, but they also
help.
bomb.
They can
Yeah,
help.
but they also, but Ron, they
can
also
help.
bombed
You
with
think the
Markelle
medical staff
Fultz, too.
is.
Yeah,
They
you
bombed
you
with
can never
Markelle Fultz,
prevent
too.
injuries, but how you deal with said injuries, that's on the medical staff.
Look,
Well,
I've
no,
talked
I
to
get that,
I've talked to
but I'm saying
trainers
like
who swear
it wasn't
that
the medical staff that messed up Eric Gordon's wrist. Like
Maybe because
if he
maybe
has a
because
weird
they told.
wrist
But
injury,
if you
But
got
they got
if
too
you
many
got
cases like this, though. They got way too many cases like
certain
this.
franchises.
Ron,
The
my health.
the Pelicans and the Sixers seem to deal with these type of chronic injuries more than any franchise in the NBA.
Yeah.
My medical
I
staff,
guess.
my medical staff, Ron, my medical staff's job is to keep my players on the floor, some way, somehow. I understand what you're saying though, bro. Like I didn't make you break your wrist, or whatever it was. I didn't roll your ankle for you. But preventative measures, they're supposed to take as much preventative measures as they can. You know what I'm saying? Do certain workouts, band workouts that strengthen your joints, your knees, ankles, hips, all of that.
Job.
That's their job, bro. Now. I once again, like I can't play for you, you know what I'm saying, any of that. But and also when you do get hurt, my job is to get you back on the floor. Now, when you tear something, break something, that's different. You know, there's a timeline for that. But you know, I'm supposed to be able to keep you recovery. Recovery is a big thing. So that is their job, 100%. Is to keep these players on the court some way, somehow, and as ethically as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they've been bombing crap for a while, like with Markelle Fultz. You got Markelle Fultz, Jahlil Okafor's a little banged up, Ben Simmons. Now you got Joel Embiid, now Eric Gordon over there toe up. Like, what we doing? Something going on. Somebody need to get fired.
all right,
investigated
y'all.
at least.
We gotta get to these
if
super
you
chats.
get investigated, you getting fired. Get up out of here.
Hey, unless y'all gonna read these, we gotta get
Go
to
ahead,
these
Ron.
super chats.
Please do. I gotta go.
D1 Sect became a member. Shout out to D1 Sect. MJAD became a YouTube member. Richard Stockman became a YouTube member. Brian Logan became a YouTube member, and so did Gregory. Shout out to all of them guys. We had a lot of people join up today. Salute to everybody. Make sure you hit that like button too. Logan Francisco sent through a members chat and said the Suns need to start KD at small forward and Bobo at power forward. Agreed?
I mean, no. Bobo don't need to start, period. I forgot about Jared McCain. I didn't even name him. But go ahead, Ron.
Drip Bayless said, is Brunson's trajectory more D-Will or AI? Forgotten all NBA player or top 75 player. I think Brunson is extremely underrated. What you guys
probably
think?
more
AI,
D-Will.
like Allen
Probably more
Iverson?
D-Will. Yeah, probably more D-Will.
He's
He got a lot more to do to become AI.
He's not peaking as high as AI. Like Allen Iverson was legitimately in conversations as the best player in the world for a couple of years. So Jalen
Brunson is not in that conversation.
Jalen Brunson has never even been in the top 5 conversations. I mean, I know this might sound really controversial, but I'm just gonna say it, not as a Knicks hater, but prime D Will is a much better player than Jalen Brunson.
He is.
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah. Ron, you don't make your face like that. There was a conversation at one. There was a conversation at one point, I believe, between 2008 and 2011, where Darren Williams, it was a conversation. He was the best league guard in the game.
D Will was a much better playmaker, but
that was a real conversation.
I think
and bigger too, and bigger,
and he probably knock him out
better
too.
Scorer though.
And he probably knock him out too, though. He probably put them hands on Jalen Brunson. You seen what he did to Frank Gore?
Shout out D Will though.
Fucking Frank Gore.
Masinko sent through a members chat. He said, "Yer." Shout out Jonathan Simmons and James Ennis.
Two
Definitely
Rockets. Shout out my boy Jonathan J. Sims. J. Sims from Houston.
Yeah, he was dope too.
Love for Dina. Love for Dina said Ant was on the bench because he hurt his calf. Fool. Then he got back. Then he got back in because his calf got better because of his special gun.
A special gun.
Ooh, there you go.
Fuck.
Hans Ding said Jimmy Butler is elite at all the things that casuals don't see. Making right reads, no turnovers, offensive rebounds, defensive rotations, and off-ball cutting.
Thank you, Hans. That was a hell of a super chat. Hell of a super chat.
All of us were just nodding our heads along. Yep. 100%.
DSG Piccolo said, who put that terrorist Jeremy Grant on the list? Who did he fool? Sell your stock, buy put puts even.
Blame it on Mars because I don't know who did it. So maybe Mars did it.
I agree. Shame
Jordan,
on
for the
Mars.
record, on the way back from San Francisco, I was sitting here. Frank Gore was sitting right there.
Yo,
Did you ask him about that fight?
I didn't.
I
No, I didn't.
I share the funniest thing.
He just knocked somebody out though the other day though.
He
just
did.
knocked
He put
somebody.
somebody to sleep.
Yeah, but I was like, do D Will like that? Why you didn't do D Will like that?
The funniest shit I heard all week was that if you were a CEO of a company and you wanted to short your own company, have Paul George do your PR. It's hilarious. Let it simmer. Let it simmer.
Shane Smith said, when Mitch is back, our defense will significantly improve. I don't think our personnel is actually that bad. We just missing our anchor.
I mean,
I guess
whatever.
nobody agrees. All right, well, I guess it won't. MP13 said, do heavily three-point reliant teams perform well against heavy zone defenses typically?
That's why you play zone, so people can shoot.
Yeah, I would say
That's
so.
what you play. Yeah, that's what you play zone for.
Sometimes. I'm going to put it that way. Sometimes. If you're a team like, because a lot of teams that are heavily three-point reliant, sometimes they just shoot just to shoot. Like you got teams like the Bulls. I think it's the Bulls.
Yep.
They're like top 5 in the league in threes, whether you go zone or not. Actually,
they shouldn't be shooting that many threes.
Exactly. So just because you're heavily reliant doesn't mean you're going to shoot good no matter what.
Right.
U Runnings 5.7 said OKC versus Milwaukee NBA Finals. Who y'all got in that 7-game series? OKC versus.
I really got Milwaukee in that.
Keep going, Big Ox. Chill, who you got?
They have no answer for Giannis.
Yeah, I got Milwaukee for sure. Milwaukee in like 6 or 7 though. They're getting cooked.
MP13 said, as a Knicks fan, Mikal dies on every screen. He bites on all interior fakes, and he gets caught. He gets caught ball watching at times from the corner, especially.
Agreed.
I'm gonna watch more Knicks games. I watch the Knicks, but I'm now gonna have to watch more Knicks games, and I'm gonna solely pay attention to Mikal Bridges.
Well, chill. Ironically, we got the Knicks on the main stage this Friday.
Yep.
And then we got the Knicks and Lakers March 6th. So we'll spend a lot of time watching the Knicks during those games. And then ironically, March 28th, we got the Knicks and the Bucks next month. So we got a few games where you get a chance to lock in on the Knicks. You Running 5.7 said, second round, who has the higher chance? Knicks upset the Celtics or Bucks upset the Cavs?
Bucks upset the Cavs.
Yeah.
I think so. I'll go that way.
But I think Cleveland matches up very well with Milwaukee.
Mo said, where does Carmelo rank in today's era?
Top 10 for sure.
Top 10.
Mad Max Sports Talk said, open gym coming back next? You never know, man. You just got to stick around. You never know if it's open gym. And you never know if it's going to be the FIFA show. You never know if it's going to be a football show. You just never quite know.
Melo better than Jason Tatum, and he better than Luka.
You also never know. You also never know.
No, he isn't.
If you're going to get caught by the drench man.
What's that supposed to mean?
Hey, it is what it is.
All right. You might get the show caught by the drench man.
I might tap in.
And then you also might get the penitentiary too. Might get that show. You never know. But all right, last super chat of the day. Philip Redford said, Ron, how do you like those 19 assists on the Pacers, which was a career high from Jokic? And I was watching that game, man.
Who said he would rather pass first? He enjoys passing more than scoring. Jordan. He said that.
I already rest my case on that, so I'm not even going to double back. Not even going to double back, y'all. You know, I told you I didn't came to the point to where the panel, the comments, people just like to argue. Aha, I got you. They don't never really want to argue the main point.
No.
They always want to argue. I got you, but you said how could it be this? And then they'll come up with some blasphemous scenario just to say, aha, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
You get used to that, Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm used to it right now.
don't
I
mess with
figured it
Jordan
out.
because he does keep the receipts.
Oh,
He
facts.
does keep the receipts.
I made a mixtape on Swiper. I
He
made a
did.
mixtape on
He
Swiper.
did. I died
That ought to,
laughing.
hey, Ron. You know when you intro the show, that ought to be the theme. Play the little video before the show, before every show. We drop the mixtape on. It is what it is. I'll send it to you.
All right, y'all. If you want to debate us off the show and not in the comments or through super chats, join this Telegram group chat. You will find us all in there, and you can talk about whatever you want to. It's a lot of people that's in the chat already in there. You should join up as well. We got one more super chat from Chosen. He just said player's choice. I don't know what that emoji is.
Salute. Yeah.
Player's choice. Salute to you, Chosen. Salute to everybody in the chat. We'll be back tomorrow for a better show than today. We out.
Later. Yes.